All right, what's going on, everyone out there on the interwebs? Welcome to episode 5 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. I am your host, Jeremy, aka NES River 22. Welcome to the end of the year show today. I hope everyone had a safe New Year's. I'm here as always, with my co host, JP and Moodz. Follow me on YouTube at youtube.com/NES River 22. Follow JP on his channel at youtube.com/doubleshotj. And you can follow Moods on his channel at youtube.com/mood616. Got a full show ahead of you guys today. We're going to be starting off with a year in review type segment when we talk about this year and our thoughts about it in the world of horror. Then we'll be jumping into our top 10 films of 2013. Then we'll be going into an awards type segment of the show. We'll be talking about some categories like best director and stuff like that. Then we'll finish this with a 2014 year to look forward to with some films that are coming out and stuff like that. So let's get started. So let's talk about the year 2013 as a whole in the world of horror. So what did you guys think of it, and what are your opinions on the year overall, movie wise?
Well, um, you know, I never really looked at each year, you know, as they happen and was like, you know what, I'm gonna rate this year a 5 out of 10. But thinking back, this has to be one of the best years in a long time, at least
I
past three
completely
years.
agree. I
Yeah, for
completely
sure.
agree. This year's been awesome.
Yeah,
I
really
mean,
good.
not only for like actual 2013 releases, but this has been a great year for just releases in general for media. It's been an
Yeah,
awesome year. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that I know me and you Moods have looked back at years past and seen what all came out during those years, and you look at the '80s and it's just like you could throw a dart at any number from there and it's just killer. And then you get to the '90s and it's like you're really like reaching to grab like 5 titles per year that really
It just
stand out as
it,
excellent.
it's like walking off a cliff, man.
Yeah, and then in the 2000s, in the I say like early 2000s, horror starts picking back up again. Like you got the 2003 era where you have Cabin Fever and the Texas Chainsaw remake, and there was some good films in 2003. um then you get to the even further 2000s and it starts going downhill, and I really I can't. I think 2010 was a pretty solid year, but even this year seems to be ahead of that year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's definitely a lot of good stuff that came out this year for sure.
yeah.
Uh,
I gotta say, man. I mean, whether it be a mainstream film or anything in between to like straight up full up indie films, it's been a really good year. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things from everybody. I mean, there's been the odd person that's been downer and said this year really sucked, but um, I got to disagree. I think overall, like I said before, with the meat, like just releases in general, and uh, it's
And
just been so
honestly,
good, so good.
vibe of this year has been more upbeat than the past few years. A lot less bitching from horror fans, because that's one thing that you get used to is just anytime something's announced, it usually has negative feelings right away. But this year, I've seen a little bit more positive sides to things, especially stuff like, um, for example, like remakes. I mean, like Maniac and Evil Dead are two big remakes that came out this year. If you would have did that in 2007 or so, people would be flipping out, pissed off about them.
I think it's also due to the fact that we're so kind of used to and kind of expecting remakes now that I
Yeah,
think we have a little more open mind to it too, because when they started getting really prevalent in the early 2000s, we were, as fans, we're going, why are you remaking all of our favorite movies?
yeah,
Stop
I
it.
still say that, but
You know, and of course, when I first heard that Maniac was being remade, everybody knows my opinions. Maniac is my favorite slasher film of all time. So of course, at first I was like, "Fuck, are you serious?" And then they announced who the lead was, Elijah Wood, and I was like, "My God, are you
yeah,
fucking
that really
kidding me?"
sounds bad
This
on
is
paper,
it
doesn't it?
does, man. It like this is all I saw, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so bad," And then I was like, "You know what? Fuck it." I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna go into this film with an open mind. And I heard a couple people, that went to screeners of it and said it was actually pretty good. And I was like, okay, that's very, that's uplifting a little bit. and it turned out to be what it is. I just, got to stop looking at remakes like they're the worst thing in the world sometimes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
sometimes they
mean,
turn out like this, man.
and I think for the most part, we kind of are. We've accepted that they're a part of the genre, which they always have been. They just haven't been as,
Yeah.
around. There hasn't been as many of them.
I think in the 80s when they're remaking films, it's just they kept remaking films from the 50s and the 80s that were so fucking good. They weren't even missing, like, I mean,
The Blob.
Yeah. The Thing.
Fly, The Thing, The Fly. Those are three prime examples of, in my opinion, three of the best remakes ever done.
Yeah.
And just in a couple years before that,
they actually are.
And you had Invasion of the Body Snatchers,
Yeah.
the remake that came out in '78, which I think is actually the best one out of all the Invasion films, in my opinion. But remakes, man, I think we're just accepting them a lot more.
Yeah, and I think, like, honestly, I really did notice the vibe was pretty positive this year. Not just from, me and the people that I'm friends with, but in general, it seems like a lot of people agree that this year has been pretty awesome to be a horror fan. I know that, like, last year, I couldn't even do a top 10. I had to do a top 5 because, like, I hadn't seen a whole lot because I didn't care to see a whole lot because there was no buzz in the air.
I was in the same boat, man. I didn't even do a top, 2012 video on YouTube because I couldn't do it, man. That's so bad. What does that say? And this year I'm having a hard time picking my top 10, and I have honorable mentions that could have made my top 10, and I have, I didn't even see some films that probably could have made either both of those lists. So very strong year, but like I said in last week's show, not only for 2013, related releases, but media releases and companies like Vinegar Syndrome and Scream Factory just killing it this year, and Grindhouse Releasing is coming back and releasing some amazing stuff, and everyone's it just seems like everything's kind of flowing so well now, and it's very uplifting for us fans and as collectors because we're getting a lot of good shit, and a lot of stuff that we were wishing for that to come out has been coming out.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you mentioned, the Scream Factory thing. That was one of my exciting story moments of the year. Was Scream Factory started in September of 2012, I believe, but they really didn't start moving rapidly until a little bit after that, and then they was just announcing things left and right, and it just was like rapid fire hitting you with all these titles in 2013, and it was kind of cool to be part of, and just every time they posted a new title, it was neat.
Yeah, they're a big part of our excitement because I mean, how many releases came out in the 2013 calendar year by Scream Factory? Like, it's ridiculous, and pretty much all of them were good quality stuff. You got the Vincent Price box set. You got the Amityville box set. Just really great releases. Such an exciting year.
And
I will say a very fucking expensive year.
Oh yeah,
I bought so much stuff this year. I mean, I will admit I own every single Scream Factory release, and I'm proud of that. I support that company to death.
He was picking up all the redemptions too, right?
Yeah, I have all the redemption line too, and these companies are killing me. Pockets are just burning right now. It's just so bad. But you know what? I'm enjoying it because they're releasing good things, and I will support them as long as I do that. So.
Yeah, and I think that speaking of when you were saying how there's also a lot of films that we did. There was so much this year. Like we said in 2012, we could barely fill a list, but this year there's so much to where we actually didn't even get to see so many things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, that's for sure.
Even have them as a chance to be on our list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything else you guys want to say about the year before we go into our honorable mentions?
Nah, it was pretty damn awesome. I rate it a 9 out of 10 in modern times.
Yeah.
I give it 8.5.
Yeah, it was a good year. I mean, like I said, special edition releases was just awesome this year too.
I wouldn't know about that stuff because you know me, I love hunting and finding stuff for cheap.
That's what I was saying.
That's my thing.
Moodz was saying that these companies were burning a hole in his pocket. I was like, not Jeremy's pocket.
I'll never find Scream Factories or stuff like that. I mean, special editions. I found like the Chilling Senses and Dead Souls and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I'll never find like awesome special editions for as cheap as I find most of my shit. But
Mm.
sooner or later. But yeah.
Yeah.
So honorable mention time.
Oh, the one
No.
thing that stopped this year from being a 10 to me was there was no big sequel thing that I loved. Like, and there was no Friday the 13th that was awesome this year, or Halloween or something. Something that really just got me like super excited, because that always is like amazing to me when there's when I can go to the theater and see Jason killing people on the big screen in a new era.
But I mean,
It's
I guess
always awesome.
we have that
Crystal
to look
Lake
forward
Memories.
to. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
Can we get into stuff that we haven't seen?
yeah.
And Milo.
Yeah, from 2013. I just want to mention, before we get into our top 10 list, a few films that I didn't get a chance to see this year. And some of these films might be a little surprising to people, considering I do watch a lot of movies. But of course, there's always things I didn't get a chance to see. I didn't get a chance to see Curse of Chucky this year, which was very disappointing to me. I just recently ordered the box set because of Jeremy. He actually messaged me the other day and said, Amazon.com has it for like $40 right now. And I'm like, fuck me. So I literally was at work doing my job. I went on my computer and ordered it. That's how passionate I am about collecting and having that shit. So, but big ups to Jeremy for mentioning that to me, because I wouldn't even have noticed, because I barely go on there, on .com a lot because I'm in Canada. But anyways, I didn't get a chance to see that, and I heard it was pretty good. So that's kind of disappointing. But I didn't get to see Hatchet 3, which is another film that I was really intrigued on watching. I've been very interested in the feedback this movie has got, because so many
It's
people
very hit or miss.
love
I
it,
forgot
or
to
they
put
hate
that
it.
in the fucking box. Fuck. Now I have to send you again. Fuck.
Oh shit. Anyways, so yeah, I never got a chance to see that. And JP, we talked about, I had a theory on this. It seemed like most people that hated Hatchet 3 fucking love Part 2, right? And it seemed like the people that preferred Part 1 over Part 2 loved Part 3. I don't know if this is
I'm
going
the
to be true with
exception
me.
to that theory, though, because I actually like the second one.
Yeah,
I
see,
actually
I prefer Hatchet 1 over 2, so I'm thinking I might really like Part 3. I don't know. This is just a weird theory I have about it, but I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I'm actually, that's one of the films that I'm kind of most interested. I think it is the most interested. I'm hearing your thoughts on, because for some reason I think you're gonna like it, but I don't think you're gonna love it.
Yeah. Another film I wanted to see this year I didn't get a chance to was The Demented. Didn't get a
see that
chance.
either.
That's coming to you. I put that in there.
Nice. And actually, another one that I've seen a lot of people put on their top 10 list and talk really highly about is Frankenstein's Army. So that's
Really?
another
You've
one.
seen people talking like good about that? I didn't even think of. I
I've
that
actually seen it
surprises
on.
me,
I've
actually.
seen it on quite a few top 10 lists already this year. So I didn't get a chance. I'll just rip through these. I didn't get a chance to see Byzantium. I didn't get a chance to see You're Next. I wanted to see Inbred. I never got a chance to see that. I never got to see Stoker. Unlucky Charms.
Full Moon.
All Hallows Eve. I never got
Dude,
a chance to see.
You know that Unlucky Charms would have made our top 10, no doubt, right? Come on.
I just picked that up too. I haven't watched it
Probably.
yet.
And a couple other ones. Bad Milo, I think, is being released in 2014. So
I've been
this might
hearing
actually
good
be like
things about
2014.
Bad Milo.
Yeah. So I don't really know what this whole story is with that movie, but I didn't get to see a little more mainstream things like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters, Last Exorcism 2. I didn't
Last Exorcism 2.
Yeah, I know. Go figure with that name, right? And, just among things, those are things I didn't get a chance that I thought maybe might. Oh, Insidious 2. I never seen Insidious 2 either.
Yeah. So a few sequels you didn't get a chance to see.
Sequels are definitely low on my thing. And I didn't get a chance to see Bloody Homecoming. And Jeremy, yeah, we'll get into that later. And, yeah, among films, man, Argento's Dracula I didn't see either. So.
Dude, I
heard is like the worst
Argento's
film ever.
Dracula on everybody's like top 10 worst as number one.
Totally. I only put that in there because it just made me laugh, but it's just so sad. It's just so fucking sad. And then two films I can barely pronounce that I know are making a lot of people's top 10 lists are Senatucci. It's like a horror film. It's a film from Switzerland. Apparently, it's the first horror film from Switzerland, and I've been hearing nothing but
Can that be
raves.
true?
Maybe the first majorly distributed horror film. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyways, I've been hearing nothing but good things. Horace Ball mentioned this, and Scotty, everyone's been talking about this film, so I really got to check it out.
Scotty.
I actually have it in the mail. I just ordered it, but it sucks I didn't get a chance to see it before this. And another one has a UK release. We're getting a release of it, and it's Thantromorphous. I don't know how the fuck.
Well, I totally nailed that one.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, if you saw how these are written, you would never be able to pronounce them.
And you see the cover's pretty amusing too, to be honest.
Yeah, our cover for the Region 1 release is not that great, but
yeah, it's not that good.
But anyways, I will stop talking. Those are the ones I didn't get a chance to see, so I'm just letting people know that when I do my top 10 lists and you don't hear some of the films making my top 10 lists, this is why. Because I didn't get a chance to see these ones. I don't know if they would or not, because I haven't seen them, but whatever.
Well, I plan on not writing a list of the ones that I didn't get to see and just piggybacking off of the ones you didn't get to see, but you kind of rapid fired through them, so I wasn't able to be like, yeah, I didn't see that one either, and I should have, blah, blah. But Under the Bed was one that comes to mind that I didn't see. I know you've seen that one. And then I didn't see a lot of those a lot of the horror comedies that came out this year, like the more mainstream ones, like that one with Seth Rogen and all those guys.
Oh, that movie was fucking hilarious.
Simon Pegg and those guys I didn't see.
Oh yeah, World's End. World's End I didn't get a chance to see either, so it's another one.
Yeah, there's a few out there that have been getting some praise that I actually didn't see. I'm not a huge fan of horror comedies in general. I do like them, but I just don't. They're not high on my list every year.
You need to check out The World's End. That movie is fucking hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I keep hearing it's actually, from some people, they're saying it's actually the best one out of the trilogy, which actually, really makes me want to see it, because everybody knows I like Shaun of the Dead.
The trilogy? What is the trilogy?
Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, that's another thing. I don't know the names of these films.
Well, you need to see This Is the End too, because This Is the End I was fucking seeing in theaters.
Is that the one with Seth Rogen?
Yeah, I was pissing my pants.
Now that
so
one I'm
funny.
more interested in seeing, because I like those guys. I don't like Simon Pegg too much. I know that's crazy.
See, like I said, like World's End, I keep hearing is the best one. So, which is very inviting for me, because I loved Hot Fuzz. I thought it was funny, and Shaun of the Dead, I think personally is the most overrated film.
Yeah.
Of modern horror films. I think it's so
totally
overrated.
in agreement with that. I think Shaun of the Dead is like insanely overrated. I don't even like Hot Fuzz either. I honestly haven't, like, those films don't appeal to me that much.
I liked Hot Fuzz because it was a different type of comedy. It wasn't just, I don't know. It was just.
Well, I guess I'm lying. I didn't even see Hot Fuzz. I just seen the trailer and knew that I wouldn't like it.
It's. I think it's better than Shaun.
Yeah, I liked it too. Hot Fuzz is good.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, I didn't see Last Exorcism 2. I believe, wasn't there like a Haunting in Connecticut 2 that came out this year or something? I didn't see that either.
Yeah, those mainstream films, those sequels to The Haunting in Connecticut, like, why would they make a sequel? What is up with that? Like,
they only play at AMC. It's pretty funny.
A film. Well, I'll save that for later, actually. But go ahead, Jeremy. Any big films that you needed to see that you didn't?
I didn't see Bad Milo, which I wanted to see really bad. I think that's
it sucks
the
that
main one. None
of us have seen that on here, because then at least one of us would have been able to give our opinions.
And I didn't really have any interest in any of those fucking stupid Exorcist movies, because I really, next to zombies, I really hate Exorcist movies more than pretty much anything.
Wait, you hate zombie movies?
They're not my favorite subgenre of horror. I've said that.
You just hate the fact that for every like one good zombie movie, there's like 17,000 bad ones.
Pretty much, and
I'm with you on that.
And like every time I would go to the movies, sit down, go see a horror movie, there'd be at least one trailer for some new Exorcist movie, and that Exorcist movie that came out last year about the Jew exorcist made no fucking sense, because in the Jewish religion, we don't even believe in devils. So how the fuck are they making an Exorcist movie where there's a fucking devil? I'm just sitting there like face palming my face because it makes fucking sense.
I'm sorry, but I missed this trailer. What is the name of this? I have to watch this trailer.
I think it's The Last Exorcist. No, not The Last.
Is it a spoof?
No, it's
it sounds like a spoof.
Oh god!
Wait, I'm pulling it up. 1 sec.
It's just so bad.
Yeah, it's a Jewish exorcist movie.
I think it's very interesting. Yeah, like I do agree that zombie films are a little over, they're a little polluted right now, but I
Little.
mean, my top two favorite horror films of all time are actually zombie films, so that's kind of interesting. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's also they were also made at a totally different time,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah.
The Devil Inside, is that the name of it? I think that's the name of it.
That came out last year
I
What?
know, okay, but we
or
were
the
talking
year
about
before. I don't remember.
yeah, the Devil Inside. That's the Jewish exorcist movie. That's fucking hilarious.
Dude, that's
Um,
so funny. I gotta check this out. It's so funny.
Now
Um,
I'm with Jeremy on like I think like exorcism films and next to like haunting films are
No,
usually
no,
my least favorite in like subgenres, but a good the thing is like a haunting film can be done really well. And when they are done well, they're fantastic. I don't think most exorcism films are ever done well except for The Exorcist.
it's the Possession. That's the name of it. See, there's so many fucking exorcist movies I can't fucking keep
Yeah.
it straight.
oh, The Possession.
The
Okay.
Possession is
And
the
you know what's
Jewish
even more messed up
one.
about the fact that there's been so many Exorcist movies since The Exorcist is that not one single one has like came close to topping the first one.
No.
No, because they don't make them like they used to. There was a lot of Exorcist ripoff films in the '70s that were really good. Alucarda comes to mind. That's a really good one, in my opinion. But, anyways, we're not really talking about that. Do we want to move on
Yeah.
to the top 10 or what?
Yep. So now we're going to be jumping into the top 10 films that we saw in the year 2013, starting at number 10, and of course going down the list. I guess I'll start first with each one, so we can just go around to JP and Moodz and back to me. So let's start number 10 of my top 10 list of
Fucking drum roll.
2013.
I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, because we
Gonna be.
actually don't know what all of our lists are. So
All right.
you at home listening right now are,
Live reactions.
yeah.
My number top 10 goes to Hatchet 3. It's my number 10 film of 2013.
Wow. I honestly wasn't expecting Hatchet 3 to pop up on your list because I thought you said it was a bit disappointing. Was it what am I confused with somebody else? Did you say it was disappointing or something?
I thought that it was better than 2. I like number 1 the best. It was not as good as 2, but not as good as 1.
Okay, so I mean that's good. I mean like it can be a little bit disappointing and still make your top 10. That means Hatchet 3 is pretty badass and
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10, so,
Whoa.
yeah.
I think what did I give it? I talked about it it was my pick of the week on like the first show. I think I gave it like I want to say like an 8.
Yeah.
I love Hatchet 3. I think that Hatchet 3 is the best. I think it's the best made in the series. I don't think it's necessarily the best one, but I think as in terms of like the structure of it and like the way the story's told and it just seems more mature in a way. I just think it's a better made movie when it comes down to it. Just maybe not more entertaining, but I think as time will go on, I think people will appreciate Hatchet 3.
See, the problem I had with those movies is the way that they changed the main character between Hatchet 1 and Hatchet 2 to Daniel Harris, I just have such a problem with movies when they make sequels that they get like a different actor to play a part. It just bothers me that.
I think there was a reason for that, though.
There was.
The girl turned that role down, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what happened? Yeah.
her name was I think like Tamara Feldman or some
Yeah.
crap like that.
But I mean, there's really
and-
no better replacement. Daniel Harris,
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a good.
yeah.
But I think Danielle Harris originally auditioned for the part in the first place, and Adam Green told her no.
Oh wow, I just lost a lot of respect for Adam Green.
Well, no,
How do you turn down Daniel Harris?
He
Like
knew,
that's crazy.
He knew that she was like, a good choice. He just wanted to create like his own thing and not
Well,
create.
he wanted the focus more on the movie than her, maybe a little bit.
I think it was something like that. He actually mentions it in the commentary to Hatchet 2, I think. But yeah, I mean, Hatchet 3 to me was I was honestly expecting to be a little let down because how excited I was for it. It was one of the films I was looking forward to the most this year, and everybody kind of badmouthed it a bit and said that it was just a letdown. And but you know what even surprised me? Like after watching it, I was like, they said the same thing about Hatchet 2, and I like that one. So I ended up going into it and really enjoying Hatchet 3. I think that the story is a good fitting final in a trilogy. I hear a lot
Is
of
it really going to
complaints.
be the final movie though?
Probably not, but
Yeah.
Guarantee somebody reboots that again.
Don't
Do
Reboots
something, man.
Hatchet.
Jesus Christ. I'm sure Victor Crowley will be around in the future.
Victor
I
Crowley
kind of
versus
like
Jason.
They made
they
10 Jason movies, man. They can reboot Hatchet. Come on.
10 Jason movies. That's it. You're lying because they made.
12.
Well,
It's crazy when you lowball and it's 10.
whatever.
But-
I'm talking the original franchise.
yeah. Okay.
You know what I meant.
Yeah. Okay. But so Hatchet. I hear one of the complaints about Hatchet 3 was that Danielle Harris didn't do anything in the film. And I really don't see that as like a fair criticism of the film. It's like, so what? It's not her turn to do something. It's another story. It's not the Danielle Harris show. It's,
Yeah.
it's a story, and she just
That's-
happens to be
That's the
in
main
this
critique I've heard
place in
too.
the story. And it really kind of bugs me when people say that, because I'm like, it doesn't have to be the chase scene, final girl thing all the time. It could be a little different sometimes, and that you still get that in the film. I thought that the nods to the fans and the nods to the series and the creating the mythology, expanding the mythology on Victor Crowley, I thought it was pretty cool, man. I really dug Hatchet 3, and there's a cameo in it that is absolutely solid. It's like one of my favorite cameos in recent memory. It was really cool. You know what I'm talking about, Jeremy?
Maybe. I really don't pay attention to cameos. I fucking should pay attention to cameos. I just sit there going, the
I
stupid
mean,
slasher.
it was a little more than a cameo, because it was a pretty, it was a part there, but
Oh, are you talking about House of a Thousand Corpse reference?
yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was great.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hatchet 3, man. I'm totally interested to hear what Moodz has to say about this as the year continues and he
Yep.
finally checks it out.
Yep. So
yeah.
yeah, you're gonna go for your number 10, JP.
My number 10 is VHS 2.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, so VHS 2.
Oh, these lists are so awesome. I love this. I love this so much. I'm so intrigued that this is your number 10. I'm blown away by this right now. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't know what you exactly mean about that. Like, is it because it's on the list at all, or because it's at number 10? But I'll find out soon enough.
The best thing about these lists, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So VHS 2, this is probably the film I was looking forward to the most. I think I might have said something similar to that about Hatchet 3. But I think this was one going into 2013. I was like, VHS 2, I cannot wait. I love the first one. It was my number one film of last year. Okay. Number one horror film of last year. VHS was. I love the first one. And this one, for the most part, is probably a better film.
Indeed,
But
I thought it was a better film.
It didn't have that impact the first one did to me. The first one, when I seen the first segment with the fucking succubus thing, it genuinely creeped me out, and it was just I thought it was something new and fresh. I loved the concept. And this one, it just didn't have that with it. But overall, I think it is a better film. It has stronger segments.
Yeah, like last time we were talking about, or a few times ago, we were talking about anthology films. That's starting off, the first story was okay. The second story of VHS 2 sucks dick. And then the third story fucking kicks ass, and I think it's the best story out of the whole series so
Care
far.
to remind me which stories are...
The first story was the one with the eyeball, and
I like that one. That
okay.
That one was pretty cool.
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
I don't think the second story was horrible.
What's the second story?
I kind of liked it. It's the
zombie, first-person zombie.
No, that was not a fantastically narrative story, but it was neat. It was neat to see that kind of thing. It was kind of one of those. It was
but it is the weakest in the film. For sure, because the third story with the fucking cult is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it's the best story.
It's
the best story of the.
But I still don't think it's better than the first story in the first film.
I do. I think that fucking story is fucking.
It's interesting.
Gnarly.
I think the third story in VHS 2 is batshit crazy, but
Yeah.
I think Jason Eisner's story is my favorite, my personal favorite.
Which one's that?
It's
The
the last
alien
one.
one.
The last one.
Which one?
The
The
alien one.
alien. The
Oh,
alien.
the alien one. Okay. Yeah, I
Man,
think that
dude,
one's the best one too.
it's like generally creepy, man. It's
Yeah.
He did a
Yeah.
good job with those
I think
aliens,
that
man. I thought it
story
was
should have been
awesome.
first, man.
Everything
I
Jason
think that
Eisner
story
does
should
is
have been
fucking
first.
awesome.
Jason Eisner is an up and comer, man. I hope
Yeah.
he does another full length fucking feature here soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I honestly, it was
Speaking
so
of-
amazing how it ended VHS 2, man. It's so fucking
Speaking
good.
of these guys who are, part of the VHS crew, the guys who've directed segments in VHS, all of those guys are pretty awesome.
Mhm.
Like, I think they all either have made good stuff before or will make good stuff in the future.
Yeah, because I know the guy from the third story directed The Raid, which is probably my favorite action film of all time, because that movie fucking kicks ass. So to see him do a horror film from something like The Raid it was pretty cool.
I mean, I think what it
You can
comes
see
down
the influence in it though too, right?
Have you seen The Raid, Moods?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
fucking awesome.
It's great. Yeah.
I think for me, what it comes down to in VHS 2 of why I found it, I didn't necessarily find it as a letdown. It just didn't have as much impact as the first one did for me. I thought the first one was genius, even though like the Friday, the Tuesday 17th segment was like kind of bad. And there was some stuff in there that, see, I know a lot of people didn't like the Ty West segment in the first film. I love that segment. I think it's like incredibly creepy when you're watching it and you see the knife touching the girl's like skin, and then it pans over and that her boyfriend's laying in the bed, so you kind of realize, oh shit, there's somebody else in the room, like it's not the boyfriend. Like I think there's a lot more to that segment than people like notice. So I really liked all the segments in the first VHS except for the slasher weird one. But the second one, I like all the stories more. I'm pretty sure I like all the stories. Yeah, I do like all the stories more, but it just doesn't have the same pizzazz that the first one did for me. But I loved it. It's in my top 10 of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right, your turn, Moods. Go ahead.
All right, my number 10 pick for my top 10 films of 2013 is American Mary.
Mm.
This movie upon release was just so talked about. It was, I guess, in certain points you could probably say it was a little overhyped. I don't know how to really take it, but I just kind of took it for what it was. I just kind of, there was a lot of people saying that they loved it, a lot of people saying that they didn't really like it, and there was a lot of mixed opinions saying that they really liked the first half of the movie, and the whole second half was kind of a downer for them, kind of ruined the film. So going into this film, I was like, well, I'm just going to have a clear mind, take for what it is. And I thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing. I really enjoyed the ending. I know a lot of people, obviously kind of shit on it, but I think it was fitting. And I think it works. And I think that's just maybe the non-Hollywood in me is talking. I like these type of endings, and stuff. It feels more real. It doesn't feel like that typical Hollywood ending where, the fucking Purge. Total fucking perfect example of a shitty Hollywood ending that really fucking sucks. And I think American Mary is great, man. Great story. Catherine Isabelle is fucking brilliant in the film. I thought the direction was good by the Sluska sisters. I do agree. I know Mr. Parker mentioned this in a video one time that he said the editing in the film is kind of weird. I do kind of agree the way they kind of structured and edited the film. But I think the performances are well done, and I think it's a good film, man. It's a good, kind of sophomore effort by the Sluska sisters. So,
Well, okay, so I actually watched American Mary for this list. I literally just watched it a few days ago, and I didn't, unlike you, I didn't really pay attention to anything anybody said about it. I tried to avoid the talk because it was a film that I was interested in from when I first, heard about it, and I really didn't want to know more than that. I just kind of wanted to go in blind, and it kind of surprised me that you said that people found it kind of a downer because I thought that I was the only one in that situation. Like I thought it was a very like depressing type of film. While watching it, and it wasn't just the second part. I found it kind of depressing through the whole thing, and I don't know what it was about it.
Well, it
But
is. It's because it's a struggle for her, right? Like she's obviously struggling through, school and stuff, and then what happens to her, and then eventually in the second half of the film, the whole film is a struggle. So it's definitely a downer from the beginning, but really the second half, or I mean, the end of the film is kind of pushes it right over you.
I thought the film ended like fine. I didn't even see the ending as a total downer. I like the very end.
I'm just saying that's what most people seem to critique of it.
Yeah, I thought it was more about the de-evolution of a character. I thought that was like the more downer than the other parts of the film.
Yeah, I agree.
What happened to her, really bummed me out more than I thought would. Like it probably bummed me out.
I totally agree.
Me out the most since I watched Compliance, I would say, which fucking bothered me to fucking hell. But I think it really did bother me what happened to her because I liked her character. She has shit
came
going
off really likable.
Yeah, she has shit going for her, and then that happens, and she goes batshit crazy.
One of the scenes that really stand out to me in that film, that I found pretty good, well done and stuff, acting wise, and just altogether done well. And it kind of made you look at the character as more than just a written character. There was more depth to it, and it was the scene where she's kind of sitting there and she's all like messed up about something that happened, and the guy's telling her about his mother who got her house broken into and like got like beat up and crap by some dude, and she just asked like, is that a milkshake or something? And I just found that scene like really worked well.
Vanilla.
For kind of giving you the vibe of who the character is, about how there's a lot to her.
I just love the characters in that film, like the ones that look like those, the Barbie dolls and shit, and they just don't look real. They look fake. And
the sisters, the twin
sisters.
It's
so fucking weird, man. It's so weird, but it works. So,
the Soska sisters are weird as hell.
Yeah.
Their character I was like, whoa.
Well, they live like just by me. It's kind of interesting.
In the foreign country of Canada.
In the foreign country
number
of Canada.
10 then, huh?
That was my number 10. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. I loved it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's very good.
So my top 10 Hatchet 3, JP goes to VHS 2, and Moodz goes to American Mary.
By the way, I would rate VHS 2 an 8 out of 10 is what I gave it.
Shit, you guys' number are way different than mine. That's okay. Anyway, let's hop into my
American Mary. If I had to rate that, I'd probably give it an 8 too, actually.
So. Okay, so let's hop into the number 9 pick of the year 2013. And my number 9 pick goes to the IFC Midnight film, Would You Rather. So
see, that's one that I totally forgot to mention on the I didn't get a chance to see list. Yeah. That's one that came out a little earlier in the year that I just kind of slipped under my radar. I had a chance to Redbox it and just didn't, and then never got back to it.
Redbox.
Yeah.
Which I don't use very often. That's probably why I didn't watch it. I usually buy my stuff. I don't like renting.
I just find Redbox intriguing because we don't have them here. So
you don't have Redboxes?
No.
They haven't made it up there yet.
Dude, what if
they haven't migrated up there yet.
I don't think they'll.
I mean, it's
up here now.
Foreign land of Canada. I mean, you would at least think they would have like one Redbox. But what if I told you when you was a kid that like, hey, you're gonna be able to get DVDs out of a you wouldn't know what DVDs were, but you're gonna be able to rent movies out of a vending machine. What would you do?
Would you rather? It's not a totally original. A few films like it came out in the last few years, like Truth or Die. That's the name of it, right? Moodz the Bloody Disgusting Selects film is kind of like Would You Rather, but Jeffrey
Is it kind of like Among Friends?
It is. It's basically kind of the same type of premise.
Yeah, but Jeffrey Combs definitely saves the movie for me.
Oh my god!
Fucking Sasha Grey, fucking annoyed the fuck out of me. That's why it's so.
Is that a porn star?
Yep, so down on my list because the way she dies is just fucking stupid, and it just bugged the hell out of
Down
me.
on your
I
list,
know.
you know your top 10's supposed to be like your like good movies, right?
Yeah, it is a good movie, but I'm talking
is.
about some problems with the movie. Every movie
Okay,
has
okay.
problems.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a cool concept of what was going on with the way that Jeffrey comes and fights these people to this dinner party, and they have to do this crazy stuff to save money, to get money, and they can either do it to themselves or the person that's sitting next to, and it's all a huge moral type of thing with all these people staring each other in the eyes, and they have to make a decision together about who should
That's a
endure
great
this
concept.
punishment.
That's right up my alley. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, you would like it because it pretty much all takes place in this one dining room on this one
That's
table,
my
and
type of film, man.
yeah, Jeffrey Combs is a fucking nutball in this film, but he plays it so awesome. Do you agree, Moods, that Jeffrey Combs is fucking batshit crazy in that movie?
Oh my god. Jeffrey Combs is, as everyone knows, is like tied for my favorite actor of all time, and he just pulls it off so good. He's
Yeah.
so fucking, he's evil and he's awesome, and he just puts in a good performance in a film that with most, not necessarily the most, the strongest script in the world. He makes that movie. I totally 100% agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, Would You Rather is definitely an interesting concept, and it has one scene in it that definitely made me go, "Oh, it's fucking nasty," and it has to do with dynamite. That's all I'm gonna say. But it,
See, when you say like that's fucking nasty, like I don't think of dynamite. I think of like
well,
leeches or something,
you,
you know.
you
So
oh,
that interests me.
there are leeches in the movie, right?
Really, dude, I just picked
Yeah.
that out of thin
Yeah,
air.
yeah.
Yeah.
But uh, that one scene with the dynamite is, fucking made me cringe a little bit. But it's an overall great movie. It's kind of predictable. You kind of know what's gonna happen at the end of the film. Who's gonna be the lone survivor of this dinner
I
party?
think it's more about like, okay, what's going to happen to the next person?
Yeah.
It keeps you intrigued that way,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
kind of.
It totally sounds like something that I would like a lot. I'm definitely gonna check that one out.
Yeah, I really like. I gave it 6.9 out of 10 on that one. See, my numbers are totally off compared to your guys because I don't fucking watch a million movies like you and JP does. So I just looked at the list of movies that I saw and kind of dwindled down to my top 10. So
Although
yeah,
I've heard I rate high to begin with, so
Yeah.
that also.
yeah. So let's go to JP's number 9 film of the year. Go ahead.
Okay, my number 9 film of the year is Hatchet 3.
Cool. Are we gonna
So
talk about it again?
that-
Oh,
I mean, just briefly, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I remember. I one other thing that I heard kind of bug people is how Victor Crowley like looks different throughout like the films from the first one and third one. I'm like, to me, it's just like stop nitpicking about how he looks. Look at Jason. He never looks like at all the same in each film. And Victor Crowley is taking damage and being burnt and stuff throughout films.
mhm.
I think Victor Crowley's a cool character. He's like the poor man's Jason, but he's still pretty neat.
The poor man's Jason.
Yeah, because he's essentially Jason, right? I mean, it's kind of the same story, tragic event.
In a way.
A father instead of a mother. It's very similar. Swamp instead of a camp. But yeah, Hatchet 3, man. I think that it's a little underrated this year. Like I think that it's better than what people give it credit for. It's definitely cool. So yeah, I mean, we won't talk about Hatchet 3 too much. I already talked about it.
Yep. All right, Moods. Your number 9 pick of the year 2013.
All right, my number 9 pick goes to the Conjuring.
Hmm.
The Conjuring at number 9. This was a movie that, again, I saw later in the year, and I guess it came out later in the year, right? I didn't get a chance to see it in theaters and stuff, and I heard a lot of hype about it, and that worried me.
I really think that is the first film I heard that got an R rating because it was too scary. There
Are you
was
serious?
It's crazy.
that's the reason it got an R rating because
It wasn't.
it was too scary for a
It was
PG-13
not.
rating.
Dude, that's
Wow.
not even possible to be too scary. What does too scary even mean?
I think the reason it got an R rating was the scene when she's standing in the basement and the fucking thing comes and claps. That's the reason why I think it got an R rating, because that section fucking scared the living shit out of
I
everybody.
thought that the part where, um, like one of the first scares of the movie when they're in the room and she looks on top of the dresser and there's like a witch up there. I thought that
Yeah.
was this like one of the scariest parts of the film.
Yeah, it's definitely a film that I thought was really well directed. I really liked the James Wan did a great job with the build-ups, though. You know, he even said in an interview, I watched special features on the DVD and stuff, or on the Blu-ray, and he said, you know, he even took out some scares because he wanted to build them up more.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
and I thought that was really
Well, that's one
really
of the criticisms
ballsy
he
of him.
got in the first Insidious was he showed the demon guy too much. He showed
Yeah.
the ghost too much.
Like, as
Yeah.
I was watching the movie, I was sitting there thinking, why did this get an R rating? There was little
I was
to
thinking
no
that-
gore. There was that one
I
gore
almost
scene.
sworn it was like PG-13.
There was one
I
gore
guess
scene.
there was like it's kind of violent.
Yeah,
No,
there
it's
was
rated
one.
R.
Nope. There was one gore scene at the end of the basement. They didn't say fuck more than twice, so that doesn't mean it could get an R rating because there's no way that could happen. So the only logical reason why it got an R rating was it was too scary. I mean,
it's very interesting.
I mean, you're also dealing with murdering kids, though. I mean,
but
that's kind of,
Insidious, there's murder, and there's murder in the Avengers. People get fucking blown to bits all the
yeah, but
fucking time
that's
for no
totally
reason.
different context.
I
I
murder's
totally
murder.
agree that it seems like it could have been a PG-13, but um, I don't think it's. I don't
I
know.
will-
It's kind of odd. It's kind of odd.
I will admit
Yeah.
though, the Conjuring is the first movie in a long time that actually made me jump.
Yep.
There's a scene in the film. I don't know. I don't know if I should really. Well, no, it's not really a spoiler.
We'll
but,
know what it is if you just say like.
It's the part where you know, the mom's upstairs or she's going up the stairs, and then the fucking all of a sudden the pictures start flying off the wall.
Yeah.
But I think it was the sound and the way it happened. I wasn't expecting
That
that to
guy-
happen. I think I was totally, man. It was the way it went down, man. It totally fucking.
There was a
got me.
few. There was a few parts that got me, but
I think it's because
I
it
don't
was
think that
kind
was
of.
one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it totally got me, and I was like, fuck, that's good. That's good. But the overall feel of the movie, I thought James Wan did a great job with the film. I thought it was really well done.
You know what?
and
I really like the angle of the ghost those people that exist in real life that were ghost hunters and stuff. Like I like the Friday the 13th this series type of thing where they have this room filled with all the pieces of the
yeah.
crime investigations and stuff. Like I kind of just like that whole dynamic. I wish they would have went into it a little bit more. Actually, I think that leaves plenty of room for sequels. Correct?
Like, I'll
Did
never
you wa-
forget sitting there. I was texting Moodz during the movie, bitching about all these fucking teeny boppers who would not shut the fuck up. That's the one problem I have today going to see a horror film in the theaters. I had the same fucking experience seeing The Purge with these fucking little bitches sneaking into these
What
fucking
the fuck is a
R-rated
teeny
movies.
bopper? Anyway,
Okay.
what is the actual definition of that?
Let's just say from a middle school until maybe a sophomore in high school. I think that you could call those as a teeny boppers. But sneaking into the movies and fucking screaming at the stupidest fucking things, it just drives me insane. It's like, can't you just be respectful and shut the fuck up? Especially with The Purge, where it wasn't even that fucking scary, and these fucking kids just come in and will not shut up.
I have-
mean,
I've had similar experiences with lots of movies. When I went
That's
to see Evil
crazy.
Dead, same thing. There was all these little fucking. I'm like, how the fuck did you guys even get into this movie? It's rated 18A.
yeah.
Dude,
Like,
it's
what the
not hard to
fuck?
get into a movie. You just ask somebody outside to say they're your dad. I've done it plenty of times.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not really that hard around here. They don't really give a shit, but
No.
I don't know, man. But overall, The Conjuring, I thought it was fun. I've been hearing a lot of negative shit about it. I think people are starting to hate on the movie for the sake of hating on a good movie. You know, people are, man. I say fuck the haters. I think The Conjuring's a well-made movie, and I think James Wan.
No, it's a great movie. It
I
really
think he should
is. Like,
stick to. I think he should stick to making horror films. You know,
Yeah.
he said this is his last one, but I
Yeah.
think that's a
I
mistake.
don't think
if he
it's his
doesn't.
last one, man.
I think it's a
He is
mistake. if
directed.
doesn't.
He is slated to direct a Fast something, like a Fast 8 or something. One of Fast and Furious is, but who knows if that'll happen now?
Ah, fuck. I mean,
It's happening.
dude is
It's coming
not,
out in
he's not really
2015.
missing a whole lot. So he needs to maybe try something a little different. Maybe not so much these type of movies, but maybe
But
try.
yeah,
something
well,
else,
he's
but-
done a lot of ghosts and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, try something like Saw again, but not like quote unquote torture porn. Just to try something original, like you like Saw was pretty damn original.
Oh man, I'll never forget listening to fucking Richard Roper, who is now the film critic here
I know that
in
guy.
Chicago, and he compared the Evil Dead remake to torture porn, and I turned it off right at that moment because I couldn't fucking. How could you
He
compare the
actually
Evil
used the
Dead?
Can we just ban that word already? As
How
what
did
it
you
is?
actually
Can we
use
just say
torture porn?
stop saying
Yeah,
it?
but for Evil Dead is torture porn? What the fuck are you talking about? This is not torture porn. Get
It's a
out of
possession
here.
film. How's
Get,
that torture porn?
get out.
Excessive gore scenes that are there just to please the gore
Oh my
hound.
god, seriously. Okay, The Conjuring. Yeah, let's move on.
Okay,
Well,
so
I actually didn't even get to say my piece on The Conjuring, but okay.
Sorry, dude. Go ahead.
go ahead, JP.
No, I was just kind of agreeing with you. Yeah, it's a great film. What's funny is you say haters gonna hate and stuff, but I honestly didn't see much hate for this film.
You
I
know,
seen
recently I didn't see a lot of hate for The Conjuring until like the last week, and I've been seeing multiple posts
okay
on
now
Facebook,
is
and
yeah, I
people are like,
agree.
"Fuck The Conjuring, it's fucking garbage." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "It's garbage." I'm like, "You can't say if you dislike The Conjuring, you can't say it's garbage.
Yeah.
It's a well-made movie. It's a really no. If you dislike The Conjuring, that's fine, but don't say it's garbage.
If
And
it
it's
was
shitty.
garbage, if it was
Yeah,
garbage shit,
I
the
never ever
critics
Like-
wouldn't have gave it the praise that they did because
No,
I
critics.
never understand
It's a really well-made movie.
Yeah.
I really respected it. So
Yeah.
when anybody says something is garbage that is clearly not garbage. I kind of lose a little respect because
me too.
it's just
and,
like
and
come
it
on,
sucks.
man.
And it sucks when I know the people on Facebook that are saying these things and I don't respond. I'm like, oh my god, I want to say something so bad, but I'm just like, fuck you guys, that's ridiculous. But
Um,
Jeremy's apparently typing up a memo or something.
Yep, I'm writing notes. Keep going. I'm listening.
All right.
okay, so yeah, The Conjuring. I mean, what'd you rate that?
Well, I gave American Mary 8. So I
Never compare your ratings. Doesn't
Well,
it's different
I mean,
with each case. You know what I mean?
I know if I'm going to rank, I mean, I understand like the ranking can work differently. You can have higher rated films lower on your list just because maybe, but you.
Here's the perfect example. I would rate something like The Leprechaun, the first Leprechaun movie, probably like an 8. I would also give something like American Mary or The Conjuring an 8. They're
Yeah.
completely different films, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just like each one is individually rated to the type of film that it is.
Yeah, and it's also based on your, Conjuring. I would probably just give an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, me too.
I really enjoyed it, so it's good.
All right, so that is the number 9 film of the year 2013 for me. It's Would You Rather. JP picked Hatchet 3, and Moodz picked The Conjuring. So let's get into the number 8 pick of 2013, and my number 8 pick is a film I just watched all in one sitting, and that is Crystal Lake Memories, the new documentary
A
about
documentary for number 8. That's pretty fresh. I like you're out thinking outside the box. I didn't even think of that.
Yes, I just watched this whole movie in one sitting. I was sick, so I was like, I'm fucking just gonna sit here all day and watch this movie in one sitting. And it's definitely a film that you should not do that because your brain will explode with overload of information. And, it's definitely an awesome documentary. I didn't think it was as, it's definitely on par with the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary that they did a few years ago for sure. And it's definitely an informative documentary. I think that it's a little bit too much information for its own good. They really go in depth with everything there is about these movies. Some people bitch, really complained about this film about how people, already have heard this information on special features of, all these movies throughout the years that have come out on DVD and all that stuff. And, I really haven't watched those special features, so I can't really, say whether or not that this information was already done. But the way that I saw it is, it's just a really enjoyable, history of a, memorable franchise that, is such a huge part of our culture for the last, 20, 30, when they come out, 1980. So 35 years almost. Next year will be 35 years since the first Friday the 13th, which is pretty insane to
Jeremy,
think that
did you get? Do you have the bonus disc?
I have not watched the bonus disc yet.
Okay, so
You
the
do
bonus
have it
disc is
though.
Yeah,
so
I
the
do
bonus
have
disc
it.
is like 4 hours, and it's actually really good. Like it's extended interviews from the what you saw in the original documentary, and I thought the bonus disc was fucking amazing, man. I had so much fun with it. I thought it was just great, so great.
What was on there?
Like I said, it's more extended. It's a lot of the same interviews, but like just extended parts. So it's
Mhm.
4 hours, and it basically goes from part one to all the films. So yeah,
It's definitely
very cool
good.
stuff in there though. Very cool
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, definitely some interesting stuff, and about all these different directors, and definitely the most interesting aspect I found of the whole thing is about the makeup of Jason and how they change him up every film, but every film has a little bit of influence on like each other Jason. Like I liked how the makeup designer of the Friday the 13th remake that just came out, no, not really just came out, but came out the last Friday the 13th, had influence on Tom Savini's Jason with the symmetry and stuff like that. So, sorry, like I said, I've been sick. So I found, the way that the makeup designers really, have so much influence on each other to create this, really this pop culture icon, I found really interesting that, everyone has a different take on what Jason should look like.
Well, that brings up a question. Which Jason do you guys like the best? Like, without mask, just face.
Uh, I don't know. I think the Jason from Friday the 13th Part 3 is pretty cool. But you know, it's just a really interesting take on every movie in a franchise like this. I'd love to see him do one on Halloween, but
What
I
would you
don't.
say, Moodz? Your favorite maskless Jason?
Maskless Jason. Wow. I would probably say. I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I never really thought of it like that because I always think of Jason with the mask. And
Yeah,
actually,
you think of it like the full thing, like the
Mhm.
body, the
yeah, I
mask.
never actually thought about like fate or maskless Jason. I don't know, man. I honestly really like the maskless Jason of the final chapter.
Part four.
Yeah.
Mine is if I'm going with like like man Jason, I'm going with part three. I think part three, when he takes his mask off in part three, like out of nowhere, he just takes it off himself
Hmm.
just to simply frighten somebody. Like I
Yeah.
still think that's very effective in that
But
film.
is
And
but
then
is that your favorite look of Jason without the
no,
mask?
my favorite is part seven because I think the ribs exposed and the rotted thing. I think all that looks great together.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point, man. But part four. I mean, I don't know. I think it looks pretty.
I also like Hillbilly Jason from part two,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, that's
but
cool.
I like it for different reasons.
But yeah, I just I really enjoyed these long documentaries. Like I watched the More Brains one as well from Return of the Living Dead, and
That was a good one.
I'll talk about that next week. But I really enjoyed it. I gave it like I said, a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I think it was a little bit too much information for its own good, but it's definitely information that isn't worthwhile to listen to if you're a fan of the series.
I just thought the entire 12 hours was so entertaining. I watched it in three parts, about 4 hours apiece, and I thought it was just, it was great. One of my favorites, man. Awesome.
I
And
actually didn't get a chance to finish Crystal Lake Memories yet. I believe I'm on part
See, this I don't
five.
understand, JP. Friday the 13th is your favorite franchise. You have the documentary with the bonus disc. Why aren't you watching this?
yeah, I even watched it, and
I uh I
He's speechless, man. He doesn't even know what to fucking say. I'm just blown away. I mean,
I mean,
honestly,
it's like kind of multiple things. Like for one, like I don't know if I want to watch it in little segments and kind of save it and like watch little parts here or there, or if I just want to sit down and watch the rest of it all at once. I just don't know yet. I'm really digging it though. I kind of like I'm more interested in like what's coming up next. Like the first couple segments with part 1, 2, 3, 4. Like I know more about those than I do the later sequels. So the stuff coming up is probably when I'll just sit down and watch the rest of it all the way through, and I'll probably do that soon. I just was cramming a lot of films that I haven't seen for 2013 in lately, just so I can have
Time films to talk
everything.
about.
Yeah, just so I seen a fair amount of what I needed to see for this specific reason, this show. But Crystal Lake Memories, I still own the Blu-ray with the bonus disc, and I'll be finishing it up very soon.
Cool, cool. So yeah, you want to go next, JP, for your number 8 film of the 2013 year so far? Well, it's over now, but
So my number 8 film of the year is Curse of Chucky.
mm.
I need to watch this. I need to watch
Yeah,
this.
don't talk about it, JP, because I don't want to ruin.
I'm gonna have it in a
spoil
couple
for
days. I'll
Moodz.
probably get it next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, I think we're pretty spoiler free here
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. It's definitely the best
but
Chucky movie since Child's Play 3, so.
I think it's the best one since Child's Play 2. I think Child's Play 1 and 2 are better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We've talked about our lists before, and the Child's Play series is really my favorite series, and Chucky is really my favorite killer. And we already talked about this before when we did our first episode and me getting into horror and all that stuff. But it's definitely Child's Play 2 is, I think, in my opinion, is superior over Child's Play 1. And I think, JP, you feel the same way as well about that.
Yeah, there's one scene that I absolutely love in Curse of Chucky.
Yeah.
And it's what I call like the Russian roulette dinner scene.
Yeah.
And it just was so well done. And I think that's one of the things I was most surprised with this Child's Play film is that it was like more well done than like any of them in terms of actual like filmmaking. In my opinion, it was just kind of like it was more flashy and artistic, I guess. It just seemed like there was more attention paid to actual like cinematography and lighting and sets and stuff like that. It kind of was. I wasn't expecting that from a direct DVD 6 or 7 Chucky film, whatever number it is.
Yeah, but I agree with you. Definitely the cinematography and the directing was definitely probably the best since the end of Child's Play 2, really.
Yeah, Child's Play 2 will always have like a super special place in my heart. It's probably my favorite in the series just because I love the end. It's awesome.
Yeah, like the ending, the way they shot that with the camera following Andy and Chucky, and it's just really fucking awesome. And I think this film really brought that aspect back to the series to me, especially with the way that the camera looked down in this giant old house and the way that the lightning and all the stuff going on. I really enjoyed that aspect of the film a lot, pretty much. I think that was really my favorite aspect, was the atmosphere of this old house and the way that it was used and shot.
Yeah, I put that right along with the cinematography and the lighting and everything. It is the atmosphere. That it really had a strong atmosphere and just tone to it that I really was like not expecting at all. It was like so surprising to me because it's from the same people, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, and it would just seem like it was on another level of just moodiness. Like there was a lot more mood to it.
No pun intended.
And I think that it gets a little bit odd with some of the
I agree with you on that point.
And I'm waiting to see like if the next one like fixes like what my issues are. But until then, I think that might take it down.
Is there going to be another one?
Yeah, we talked about that.
It's been.
I know, but like for sure though.
No, not for sure. I mean, I'm sure it will be, but like, is it set in stone? No.
I don't see why not. I think they're rather low budget, easy movies to get made, and if
especially considering it was guaranteed a success, right? Yeah. I mean, there's no way that this, for the amount they paid for it, the amount of hype that it had, following the production, and then when it was actually released, I know this thing was picked up. It was released in October, perfect time, right in the Halloween season. Everybody went and bought this shit. There's no way that it didn't do good.
I even
So
paid full price for it, so that should
so
say
did I.
something.
Yeah, I did too. And I was happy to do so. After I watched it, I was like, yeah, that was worth it to throw it in the collection. I will say that I'm not a fan of that box set though. I really am not.
I had to buy it. Child's Play is my
Yeah,
favorite
So
series.
I just thought that it was
what's your pro?
overpriced.
Oh well, dude, it's
Well,
$40 on
it was
Amazon right
over
now.
now. Okay, when it came out, what was it, like $80,
No,
right?
I got mine for $49.99 at Best
O-
Buy the day it
Okay,
came
but
out.
that's what it was originally priced. It was like $80,
Yeah,
and
So
the
but you're
there is
Friday.
that.
stupid if you pay that
It
price.
still is $80. They have a 50% off sale on Amazon right now for it.
Yeah, and so the Friday 13th box set that came out right around the same time of it had like what, like 9, 10 film. It had all the films, 12 films, right?
Yep. Yep.
And that was like $90 or 100 and something. It was
I
just
never
like
saw
it
that
was
set for
insane to me.
$80. I never ever saw it for the most I saw it was like 62 or something like that the day it came out.
Okay, well,
The
even
Friday set.
no way, dude. No,
I
I
I
didn't
paid 80
see
for
the
mine
Child's Play set
actually.
was really expensive to me, and the value of it. I mean, I don't really care to have Bride of Seed on Blu-ray too much. I want the first three, and Curse of Chucky, which I bought. I already
Well, just
own
put it
the
this way,
first film.
JP. The box set is worth getting right now on Amazon for $40.
Yeah, it's
It
definitely
is.
an
It's
interesting
not. It's still
set.
not worth it for me though. Like
I
I don't think $40 for Child's Play 2 and 3 is worth it.
I've talked about it before.
I don't have any of them on. I need Curse. I need them all on Blu-rays. So I have this box set in the mail. I'll have it next week, and I'll tell you how awesome it is.
Like I said, I hate
I
the
just think the
no.
box set wasn't handled right when it initially, like, if they wanted people to get excited, they should have had a decent price right away, a starting point price where I would be like, yeah, I'll pay that.
I agree that the price is definitely fucking over. But the one thing that does bug me about the discs is that they all look the same. That
Yeah,
drives-
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that when you were gonna stop talking. I hate how they're all fucking black and they have no
Yeah.
cover. It just
I-
bothers me.
That's
and,
a problem with anybody who does that.
and this is my third copy of
But
fucking Child's Play too.
it almost made me not even want to get it out of spite. Even if you could find it for a cheaper price, you're telling me at the beginning that you want me to pay $80 for it. I'm not even doing that.
I have these two copies too. I fucking have 3 copies of fucking Child's Play on Blu-ray, but. I'm like, so many people have all their Halloween editions. I have all my Child's Play editions, and that Comic-Con exclusive.
There is an edition from the UK that has pretty cool cover. I heard the transfer sucks, but
Okay, so Child's Play, I mean, Curse of Chucky. Let me just wrap it up really quick. It's an extremely solid sequel, especially being able to go back to the kind of the roots, and there was a few surprises in there, which what I thought was cool. And the one thing that I was really worried about going in to it was if it was just going to be this standalone thing where it didn't tie it into the original films. And I was so happy with the amount that they tied in. Also, a lot of really cool scenes with, I won't even go into it, but.
Yeah.
So one other thing that I will say about it is that I was going to throw this in the award thing that we're going to do later in the show, where I was going to pick this as something. I was going to say the worst title of the year, but I just mainly wanted to do it because I wanted to say how much I hate Curse of Chucky as a title. It's terrible. What curse are we talking about?
I don't know. I haven't seen the fucking movie yet.
I don't
It's such a cliche garbage, like resurrection and redemption.
What would you call it, JP?
Return. At least it's not called the Return of Chucky or
Yeah.
something.
That would be just as bad to me. I think Curse might be a little better because Return's more fitting.
Yeah, but Return is so lame.
Yeah,
But Curse is lame as well. What curse? What are they talking about?
I don't know. I haven't seen the fucking movie.
There's no curse, dude. Let me just tell you that right now. There's no curse.
Well, we already know this is on my list. There's no.
So what are they going to
nothing
call the next one? Revenge of Chucky or something?
We'll talk about it more when I get to it.
But no, like,
Also,
seriously, Curse is such
the
a
seduction
terrible
of Chucky would be funny.
fucking goddamn title, man. I almost like wanted to not like. I don't like the title so much. I didn't like Seed of Chucky. I didn't like Curse of Chucky. I don't even. Why not call it Child's Play 6 or whatever? Like why not call it Child's Play something? Why do we have to call it Chucky?
Child's Play Day.
There's a kid there again.
There you go.
Let's call it Child's Play.
I suppose. Is that enough?
Maybe the Curse of Child's Play. Yeah, that's it. I gave Curse of Chucky another 8 out of 10. You're probably seeing a pattern here.
Cool. All right. So Moodz, your number 8 pick of the
My
year.
number 8 is going to the independent film by director Dustin Mills, The Ballad of Skinless Pete. I know you guys have not seen this movie yet, and you fucking need to. Probably go and buy it, guys. Go and get it. It's awesome.
It's gonna be
so
out of
much
print
fun.
soon.
Yeah, that's the thing. Get these films.
Now, I gotta ask this.
The
You're
Blu-ray-
not just saying this because you know the guy. It's actually an awesome film that you would recommend seeing.
No, I didn't meet Dustin Mills until after I started getting into his films. I already had the Puppet Monster Massacre and Zombie A-Hole even before I ever talked to him. And then I eventually friended him on Facebook and stuff, and we bullshit quite a bit. He's a cool guy, man. But honestly, his films are they're unique. That's the coolest thing about Dustin Mills. They're very unique. His storylines they're interesting, and he's got a very interesting way of just developing and making his films.
So
Yes,
these like
they're-
low budget films.
They're very low budget, but like I said before, the effects, he does the effects himself. They're awesome, dude. They're so good. You'd love this. I know you would enjoy this, man, if you saw this. The Battle.
Well, I already promised that I was gonna grab one of this dude's films, but with the holidays and shit, I've just been really tapped right now. But I will get around to picking up one of them.
I think there's still Blu-rays available. There's DVDs obviously too, but the Blu-rays are really, really limited. I actually have
Yeah,
one
I've
in
noticed
the mail.
that. I checked out his site.
Yeah, the Blu-rays I missed out on.
The only problem I have
sucks,
with that Blu-ray DVD thing, and I think this actually hurts. I don't know if it would hurt him. I don't know if there's a lot of people like me, but if I'm gonna buy something from a specific line or a specific company or something, if I start with DVD, I'm going the whole way through on DVD. I'm just weird like that. Like Scream Factor, I started with Blu-ray. Every one I'll grab on Blu-ray now, and
I completely understand. I'm the same way with Scream Factory. Like, I buy everything on Blu-ray. The thing is, I originally got Ballad of Skinless Pete on DVD, not even knowing that there was a Blu-ray. I don't know how I missed it, but then I saw that there was a Blu-ray, and I'm like, you know what? I love Dustin Mills films so much that I'm gonna fucking go out and support him, give him some more money so he can make some more fucking movies. And that's the way I support indie directors like this, because he's doing a really good job. He puts in a lot of work. He's not only writing and directing these films, he's doing the effects, he's doing everything himself, and he's doing a really amazing job. He did 3 films this year that are all quality films. These aren't just like bullshit fucking kind of thrown together films. He puts effort. The storylines are all original, good dialogue, and he's not only a fan of horror, he fucking he respects it though too. You can tell in his films. So
I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised that you like this more than Conjuring.
honestly, I was blown away by this. I was blown away. I have all of his films, and I think The Ballad of Skinless Pete is his best movie to date, and it's his most recent one.
Well, that's good. I mean, obviously, supporting the indie guys, no matter what, is important, and especially if they're making quality stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I'll give it an 8 out of 10, and I mean, my only critique on the film is I wish it was kind of a little longer because I enjoyed it that much, So
yeah,
not very often I say shit like that.
That's not yeah, that's not a problem with most films.
It's just great. I mean, the thing, I'm not going to go into the plot of this film because we've talked about this movie before, but I'm just saying, go. If you like indie directors, support them. Yep. I mean, this is what makes the industry so fucking awesome for us. So, yeah.
Yep. So that is our number 8 picks. Minus Crystal Lake Memories. JP is The Curse of Chucky. Bum bum bum. And Moodz is The Ballad of Skinless Pete.
Awesome title.
All right, so let's hop into the number 7. Only at number 7, guys. Long way to go. My number 7 pick of the best film of the year 2013 is a film we talked about last week, and that is The ABCs of Death. Like I said, we talked about this film last week a lot, so I really don't want to get into much discussion about it once again.
You like The ABCs of Death more than Hatchet 3.
Indeed.
What the hell is wrong with the world?
ABC's of Death at number 7. Wow, this is what I love about these lists. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
it really is interesting.
I'm just blown away. So.
Yeah, like we said, we talked about it. I told you, JB, I wasn't blown away with Hatchet 3. I never.
Yeah, but I mean, I
that's-
wasn't even like prodded away by by ABC's of Death.
I think there was enough good stories to outweigh the bad ones. I kind of there was a little bit of a hot streak of bad shorts, but like I said, I thought the ones that were good saved the movie for me, and it stuck with me more than Hatchet 3.
That's what's so interesting about opinions, because honestly, dude, this is like not, this wouldn't even make my top like 15. ABCs of Death, I mean, it was kind of neat. It had some cool moments, but I mean, we talked about it.
Yeah,
most of it's kind of bad. It's almost a bad film, almost.
I mean, my only problem with it was 26 segments, and what did I like? 12.
yeah.
So there was 14 that I.
Oh, that's your only problem.
Not my own,
that's only a little problem.
But I will say, like, we talked about this before. The last like 4 segments I thought were gold. It
They
ended
tried.
really strong.
Honestly, I wouldn't
something-
even say they were completely gold, though. I thought they were really good, but I wouldn't say they were gold.
They tried something different.
I mean,
from
dude,
us. It wasn't-
VHS is gold. Like the segment, the alien segment, that's gold.
No, that is
These
not
are not
gold.
gold.
How is that gold?
The alien segment, that is so gold, dude. It's fucking scary.
But it's not gold. Maybe it's silver or bronze, but it's not gold.
Okay, now we're getting.
I
into,
think our
like,
definitions on metals here are a little different. Okay, that's all good.
Like I said, I think they were trying to do something different. No one's. There's
I
never
love
been a
the
film.
concept.
There's
I
never
love it.
been a film there has all these different shorts from all these different up and coming people, and I thought it was better than an average slasher film like Hatchet 3.
Oh, that hurt.
I mean, I understand. I love the idea of the ABCs of Death. I thought it was great.
Dude,
I just thought there was a lot of. I thought there
Number
was a
7.
lot of segments were kind of whatever. But I mean, that's expected. 26 different
I looked-
ideas and views on what they're doing. But
I looked at the list and I picked the movies I saw. I wrote all of them that I saw, and I put them in order of the ones that I enjoyed the most. And ABC's
all
of
I'm
Death
saying is you're
makes-
wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. I'm obviously just being a dick right now. I just think it's funny because like it's so drastically. It's like a paradigm shift from like my opinions of it. Like there's no way this would make my top.
paradigm. Good word. Good word.
It's a big word.
Okay.
It's I can see like Pee Wee's magic word at the bottom when he goes to Conky. It's like today's secret word is, and then it sounds it takes up like the whole bottom screen.
But I mean, like, man, it kind of that was like the most surprising thing I saw on the list so far. Like, I think probably every film that you named before that, which, what was it, like 2?
These are personal lists, man. You can't argue with it.
No, you can't argue with it, but it just it doesn't matter in the end. It's fun to argue with it. It's a debate. It's not an argument.
No,
It's-
I know.
You're
like-
probably gonna hate me then when we get up or close to the
God.
top of the list. So
It's cool.
I'm actually really intrigued by the top of this list. Okay.
I mean, would that make your top 10 moods?
Well, let's wait and see.
Moodz,
Okay.
I think my top 3 films just because of the way let me just predict what do you think my number 1 film is. I'm not gonna say if you're right or wrong.
Curse of Chucky.
I'm not gonna say, but that may be right. Moodz, do you agree with that?
I actually don't know what it is because I know something that's not on your list that probably I thought was going to be your number 1. So I don't know. I actually don't know.
Guess you guys will be surprised then when we get up there.
So are we on? So we're on number 7. So are we
Yeah.
number 6, right?
No, we're at number 7.
7.
JP,
ABC's
what's
Death
your
is
number 7?
It's not ABC's of Death, I'll tell you that much.
All right, fuck you, JP.
No, my number 7 is Evil Dead.
Huh? Interesting.
Evil Dead, to me, I think if you would have asked me, 4 months ago what my top 10 list would be, this would probably be in my top 5 for sure. Evil Dead, I think after time has passed, it kind of I got, obviously I'm less excited about it. It's old now. But I think that kind of
Overhyped.
hurt it a little bit.
Overhyped.
I wouldn't necessarily say overhyped, considering I pretty much seen it, when it was released. Um,
Let
Evil
me
Dead to me, dude. Like I hear a lot of criticisms about the defibrillator scene, which I don't like that scene either. It's a bad scene.
Fucking
But
shit. It's
I mean,
shit.
let's be real. Evil Dead has always had those moments. How exactly does Ash, rev the chainsaw? How did he build that
Yeah, but they were
metal
done better.
hand?
But they were done
They
better
were
though. This was just cheesy and done
no,
shitty. It was stupid. It didn't need to be there.
no. It's the
That's my opinion.
context. It's the context of it.
It
The
is.
new Evil Dead's serious, and Army of Darkness is silly.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
and
all the
that's
Evil
why he
Deads
can
are
build.
silly.
But the first one is not silly.
Well, the first one's actually like a legitimate horror film, right?
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
it's just kind of the way we see it now and perceive it as
yeah.
kind of.
But
But it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't think that scene ruins the film at all. It kind of is like a what the fuck moment, and it kind of takes it down a notch. But I mean, it's really not that big a deal.
You know,
It's kind of
Moodz, did you think the film was average like I did? Or did you like
average.
it?
Okay.
I think
I
the
think
film is average. It's over. I
Average,
think this
I
film
think
is
it's
probably the
and
most.
ABC's of Death is above.
Let me explain my point of why I think it's an average film, because people have fucking debated this film in the year 2013 more than any film. Some people fucking loved it and some people just hate it. I really don't think there's an in between here of this movie. So, I think that's why people have such a strong opinion of it, because it was such a highly anticipated film, especially coming right out of the screening at Comic-Con. So many people had such opinions who said, oh, this movie's fucking gnarly. You have to see it. And then when everybody went to see it, some people were, highly disappointed with it, the way it, people didn't. I think people were confused about what it was. I think fans of the series, see it as a reboot instead of a remake. But I think they were trying to sell it off to the public masses as a remake than a reboot.
Well, honestly, the reboot remake thing, I don't really care. Usually, when that argument gets brought up, it's a remake and a reboot are kind of the same thing. Yeah, one's supposed to be more of it just really, in the end of the day, reboot, remake, who cares? But I think
remake.
that the sequel aspect, where people's like, well, maybe it's a sequel, I think that added to the mystique of the film, and I thought it was
But
pretty
it's
cool.
not
that
a
there was a little.
sequel.
I mean, it's not 100% not
You
a
really
sequel.
have to fucking. It's not a sequel.
They're trying to make it to be a sequel with all this connecting it to Ash's world and all this bullshit, which
But why not? Why not have that? That's neat. That's cool stuff. It's there for us fans.
Okay.
That's what it wouldn't it.
Okay, so
You're saying it's better not to put that stuff for us fans?
the Evil Dead. So my opinions on the film is that I thought it looked really well. I thought it was
Dude,
really
it
well
was
done.
it was so well done outside. Like, dude,
Yeah.
the decaying, smelly, wet leaves, man.
I have to
that
give
shit
the
looked
I have to
awesome.
give the ending scene credit. I fucking love
Yeah,
the ending scene.
and that's the thing. Like, I mean, there's definitely pros and cons to this film for me. I thought it was done really well. Like it looked really well. The gore was done awesome. We all know that gore doesn't just fully make a film. The end scene's awesome. My
But
biggest
when you're
problems
making a gore film, it kind of has a big part of
It does.
being a
It does.
success. And
It
I think the
does.
gore is more than it would be in like a film that's not made
My-
that is not there for gore.
I'm not gonna lie, man. My biggest problem with this movie, man, is the characters are so unlikable for me.
I
For
mean,
me,
they're
I don't-
unlikable,
I
but
don't
I
like.
wouldn't even.
I don't like the brother.
Yeah, the long-haired
I
stoner.
don't
Why?
like. I
Tell me
don't like.
why.
I don't.
I hear
because,
I don't like them, but I never hear really why.
because he's not likable. He just comes off as a douche. And like,
Does he?
I don't.
Like,
He
why?
does. He
He
just
doesn't to
seems.
me.
He doesn't seem genuine. Even the girl. I mean, she's not
That's the thing.
supposed
He's
to be that
not
likable.
genuine. He's kind of a douche. He that's what he is. He wasn't there for his mother when she was dying, and now he wants to be there for his sister all of a sudden. That's kind of who he is.
Okay, exactly. But he's an unlikable character. That's my whole point. So
But why do you have to like a character? I mean, isn't that a point too to have
because
unlikable characters in a film?
if you like characters, then you feel for them when they die. and shit that's going on with the characters. When something bad happens to them, you feel it makes the film more enjoyable.
I didn't care if
Because
those characters died, to be
that's the
honest.
thing. There's not one character in that film I
You
cared
didn't
about.
care for the guy that was getting fucked up, the long haired dude with
No,
glasses, and it's
I
like,
fucking
oh
hated.
man,
He
this
was my
guy's
least
just
favorite character in
that
the
was my
movie.
favorite
I
character.
absolutely hated the
I
characters in this
fucking
movie.
hated
I will
that
not
guy.
lie. And the whole defibrillator scene, man. You know my opinions on that. I thought it was completely.
I just don't
man.
think
It's
you
so
have
bad.
to like characters in
It's so
every film that you watch. I think there's a time
but
and
this is
place
my
for-
opinion. This is how I watch movies, man. If I can relate and connect to a character and something happens to them, it makes it so much more enjoyable. You have so much.
That's
You have
why.
more.
That's what I really.
You really
love.
it elevates a film. You're like, God damn, that's so brutal.
I mean,
That
but did
person
you
shouldn't
care
have died.
for any of those girls in the original Evil Dead? Because I sure in the hell did not.
But-
They were
but-
random and
But
boring.
I cared about every fucking
But
character.
at least
Let's bring this back to Return of the Living Dead. I cared about every single one of those fucking characters in that film, and I think that's why it's such a cult film today, because every character in that movie
it's a great
is
example.
fucking awesome and relatable.
Yeah,
and,
but it's that movie. I just
example.
don't think that's what makes a good movie. Is that you have to
I'm
care
not saying that's
about
what
the
makes a great
characters.
movie. I'm just saying this particular movie, the characters were so you don't care at all about them that it just kind of hurts it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this is how it has to be for every single movie. I'm
I
talking
know
about
you're
this one in
not.
particular.
I'm just.
But that's the way it is for me. That's my
Oh.
personal opinion. I think it sucks because when you have two main characters like the brother and sister, and they're so unlikable, I don't give a fuck.
You didn't feel that realistic look at a fucking addict going through withdrawal. That was pretty damn realistic look,
I'm
man.
sick of all these fucking addict withdrawal bullshit.
There's
of
not.
course,
It's
of course it's realistic.
It's
Of course it's realistic. It happens all the
I mean,
time.
I felt for her. I was like,
It's
dude,
such-
she looks like she's in such pain.
But
This-
it doesn't mean that it's still likable though. That you have to like it though.
Now, let me say before I get all the hate about this, me ranting about addictions in our society today, but fucking all these fucking statements about addictions, the fucking addiction TV shows, hoarders, addictions, all these
that's
fucking
the thing. I mean,
addiction
people
bullshit.
are addicts, though.
And
Like there are
okay.
addicts.
Okay, why wasn't this a problem back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever? There was always addicts.
Wasn't as
Come on,
easy
dude, cocaine
as
in the
accessible.
90s? Get the fuck
Cocaine
out of
isn't
here.
really addictive that much, like heroin.
Oh, man.
But
Okay.
okay. Besides all
I mean,
the
let's not
minuses
get
to
into
this
it.
film
Yeah,
for
I'm
me,
not gonna get
there
into
is
this,
pluses to the film. Like I said, I thought it looked really well. Like it was fucking good, man. Like it looked really good. The gore effects were awesome. The end scene's really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of pros to the film. I don't hate this film at all. I mean,
Yeah, I
Jeremy
know
said that
you like it.
there's
I'm just,
there's
I just
but
don't
there's
see
there is
the-
things about the film. I wish the characters had. I mean, this is what makes the original Evil Dead so awesome. Ash,
Yeah, everyone look
Bruce
at
Campbell.
Ash.
Everybody,
He
he's such a likable person.
you just
the
see
way he
Bruce
plays,
Campbell
he's a
walking down
better
the
actor.
street, and you
He's so
say
much more
Ash.
likable.
and
so much
I
more
think
likable.
that's the main problem. People can't disconnect it from the original.
No. I'm talking about.
What
I'm
about
just
the
using
Friday the
as
13th
his
films?
likability.
Like, there's
I'm
a lot of characters there that suck.
I'm using his likability as an example, not necessarily comparing the characters in the new Evil Dead to to Bruce Campbell. I'm just saying his character was just likable. These ones weren't. And regardless, it's just how I look at it.
Yeah, I guess obviously Bruce Campbell is likable, but even in that first film, he was not nearly as Bruce yet. He wasn't Ash yet. He was just kind of a random. He wasn't that likable in the first film. I
thought he was fun. I think Bruce Campbell's acting, it works so well for those type of films because he's just quirky and like these characters seem very they seem very kind of what's the word, just stiff. There was nothing that you could point out and go, oh, that was awesome.
I
that was a
agree.
really good
I'm
scene.
agreeing with you that most of these characters are not great characters, but I just don't think they have to be in order for the film to be still great. I think that the gore and the
I think we're looking at it differently because I think the film overall, as a whole, is pretty well done. But the characters, I mean, it's a different aspect of the film. I'm kind of breaking it up differently. I think.
Yeah, I mean, but dude, there's a lot of films with shitty characters out there, and these ones are not the greatest. But I mean, I don't think that it makes the film like such a lower on a lower tiered film because the characters.
Well, we'll
I mean,
we'll
that
discuss
defibrillator
we'll
scene has
discuss
straight
this
up
later
everything.
when it comes to Bloody Homecoming and the characters. But yeah, we'll talk about that one later.
But Evil Dead, man, I mean, the cats in the basement, how she kept smelling that rotting smell because when you're addicted and you're going through withdrawal, your senses are heightened. And so she kept smelling that smell, but nobody else smelled it. I thought that was cool stuff, man. I like
Yeah,
that stuff.
that's fine, but that has nothing to do with like the character and the acting and stuff.
No, but I mean, that's all we're focused. I mean, can't we focus on stuff besides the characters? I mean, I'm just pointing out stuff that I like about it. I mean,
we're gonna
yeah.
rant about Evil Dead for an hour or what?
I mean,
Probably. This is
probably
getting brought.
it's a good
This
debate.
is not
I mean,
the last time this
Evil
is
Dead
going to
was
get
a
brought
big.
up.
The Evil Dead was a big film this year. It was an important one.
Yeah, that's like I said.
I
It was
totally
probably-
understand you guys' points, but I mean, to me, I'm just, I got to play devil's advocate and defend how I think that my opinions work and stuff. But
Reeves over here.
It's your opinion. Did I ever say that you're wrong? Like you said, I was wrong for ABC's.
but I said I was joking also.
I know. You know I'm fucking with you, Jason.
But like I don't know, man. Evil Dead to me, I don't really necessarily 100% think that the argument that the characters suck is the strongest argument on why the film is not as good as I think it is. Now the defibrillator scene is pretty damn stupid. I will admit that, man. That can kind of, that drops it down quite a bit. But yeah, so Evil Dead, man, I think I gave it at the time when I seen it a 9. I would probably give it an 8.5 now. I really did love it, man. It was so fun. It was the theater experience, seeing that young kid sitting up in front of me. He was like 7. He was scared to death and shit. And like the scene at the beginning.
I saw it in the theater too, but I made the mistake. I made the mistake of having my buddy Dylan. We watched the original Evil Dead, and then we went straight to the theater and watched the remake. I'm calling it a fucking remake.
It is a remake.
So anyway, we went and watched the remake in the theaters, and then we're like, there was points in the film where you kind of look at each other and went, fuck, really? Like, I did like the the homage, having the old Bruce, the car in the film. I thought that was really cool. There were certain things I really, really enjoyed, and like,
what about the beginning scene where they tie up the daughter to the pole and burn her? Like, that's fucking cool, man.
I don't know. That scene kind of bothered me.
I'm still kind of mixed on the whole thing too, but
why did that scene bother you? What was wrong with that scene?
Because it wasn't. If it's a remake, why the fuck are they doing that?
Well, I mean, I understand.
What does that have to do with anything?
I understand why they're doing it, but
take your mind out of that it's a remake and judge it as a film.
So it's a reboot, then it's not a remake.
Why does it matter if it's what is the difference? Explain to me the difference.
A remake is the same exact story.
And how many films do that?
Every single fucking one. Where's Ash? If this was a remake, where is Ash? And where are the 3, the 3 Evil Dead girls from the original film?
People don't get hung up on Evil Dead 2 like, well, it's a kind of a remake. No. It's
whoever says Evil Dead 2 is a remake.
It is a remake. The first 10 minutes of it is a complete...
Same with Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, but that doesn't mean it's a fucking remake.
Don't even bring... That's just a garbage film. That has no place in this conversation.
Okay, guys. I know this is going to get brought up later, so let's just move on because honestly, Evil Dead is going to get brought up a couple more times.
Okay,
trust me, it's going to get brought up.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Evil Dead, I would give like an 8.5. Okay, moving on.
All right, go on, Moodz. What's your number 7 pick, 2013?
My number 7 pick is, according to
Jesus Christ, we're on number 7.
It's our DVD release of Cockneys vs. Zombies.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we finally got this film released.
I still haven't even watched it.
I haven't watched it either.
We finally got this released here, and I know, JP, you're not a huge fan of Zomcoms and stuff, but this is probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. It's just so fucking enjoyable, man. Great, awesome characters, good comedy. So many funny characters. Like the old people in this film, the storyline is basically these guys that are trying to save their parents from this old fogey's place and stuff, while this whole fucking breakout of zombies is going on. So you have all these older characters in the film that are just absolutely hilarious. And, it's a film from the UK, so you got all this crazy slang that's going on and shit, but it's very enjoyable. it blows Shaun of the Dead out the fucking water. Yes, I said that. I know everyone listening is going, "Fuck you, Moodz, you suck." No, but I honestly think that this movie is a lot funner. It's just a blast. It's right to the point. And the opening scene, dude, like how the infection or the zombies spread and stuff reminds me of Return to the Living Dead, and I fucking love that so much.
Speaking really quickly,
I love it
speaking
so
of,
much.
we didn't even mention this. The criteria for this list does not mean that it had to have been officially released in 2013. It just has to be released on DVD
Yeah,
in our area
yeah.
within the year of 2013. It
I
doesn't
think
necessarily have to have a
I think
theatrical release here.
I think Cockneys vs Zombies originally came out in 2012, I believe, in the
Yeah,
UK,
I think so.
and then we got our release like a year and a half later, or something like that. Yeah, so
All right.
I don't. All I gotta say, man, Cockneys vs Zombies, released by
Oh, I
Scream
do
Factory.
own it,
Check out the fucking Blu-ray by Scream Factory. It's
which I do own.
beautiful. It's beautiful. Jeremy or JP, check it out, man. You'll love it. It's awesome. I wish you guys had seen this one. It would have been fun to talk about. I don't want to give anything away because you guys haven't seen it, but anybody that's
Yeah.
listening out there that's seen this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You probably liked it. I haven't heard a
Would you
lot of
rate it?
negative. It's it's another fucking 8 out of 10. It's on par with all these other ones. So yeah.
All right. So my number 7 pick is the ABCs of Death, of course, about that. Number JP's pick is Evil Dead, and Moodz is Cockney vs. Zombies from number 7. So let's go into number 6. So my number 6 pick of the year 2013 goes to Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem, which I switched multiple times in my list, but I finally decided to make it my number 6 pick of the year. So I actually saw this one in theaters, actually, and
You're one of the lucky ones I got to.
yes, I actually
You never got it up here.
Yep, only at AMC's. I think that.
Yeah, I don't even have an AMC around here.
Well, we didn't
Yeah.
get it on the West.
Yeah.
My buddy that lives in Toronto got to. They had the premiere actually of Lords of Salem in Toronto. And he got to see it and shit. But I didn't on the West. I live on the West Coast. So that sucks.
Yeah, but I will talk about this a little more when we do the awards because I don't want to say stuff about it. But I think the Rob Zombie way that he's able to tell stories is definitely one of the better directors right now. The way that he's able to take a story that he has a vision of and able to turn it into something that's different and refreshing. Like we've already talked about, I think House of Thousand Corpse is one of the best movies of the 2000s so far going on. Just the way.
Yeah, I agree with that statement, but I think Devil's Rejects is a much stronger film.
Yeah.
But Lords of Salem, man, I was not, because that one got a lot of negative,
Yeah.
feelings right away, man. I was
man.
expecting to be, and even the trailers that came out, I was like, I'm not so hyped about this one.
Dude, the trailers were terrible.
Yeah.
The trailers were terrible.
And by the time I actually watched the film, I was like, God damn, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Like
The ending was
too,
fucking
man.
insane. I love the fucking ending of the film.
See, now people are making fun of it, because of the the midget with the fucking dildos and
Yeah.
like all these type of things and stuff.
It's
I
just
think that
weird
shit is fucking
man.
weird and awesome.
Yeah,
I think it
it's
just adds
weird
to the flavor of
imagery.
the film.
I mean, dude, some of that, like that ball, it was a very beautifully shot film, like
Yeah.
the ballroom stuff,
Yeah.
and
Dude, I totally
and
agree.
I'm so tired of disrespectful people who, as soon as they see the film, fucking Rob Zombie's slut cunt bag wife,
Yeah.
playing the man. Shut the hell up.
This is
dude.
all I fucking hear
Like,
is that
You
people are
do
tired of.
realize you're talking about his wife, right? You're talking about a man's wife. Like grow up, dude.
Yeah.
For real.
This is all I
hate
fucking
that
hear.
shit, man.
The,
It bugs me so much.
the negative feedback on the film is, Sherry Moon Zombies, the lead again. Oh, big fucking deal, that's gonna be shitty. And the fact that he ripped off all these shots. The movie's basically The Shining mixed with all these other types of films. I'm like, oh my god.
I mean, there's
seriously?
definitely
There's influences there for
Yeah,
you
which
have
is
to.
fine. Who
But
cares?
they're missing the whole
that's with
point of the
everything.
film. They're missing
Yeah.
the whole point of the film again. It's based on these Salem witches and I think he does a really good job with the weirdness and just kind of developing the characters. And I really like how the whole structure of the film works.
Did you
I think
have
it's
any
very,
problem
very-
whatsoever with Sherry Moon Zombie?
None.
I never
None.
had problems with.
I
Sherlock
thought at
Holmes.
the beginning of the
this
film there was a couple scenes that the acting wasn't like super brilliant, but So what? I mean,
But dude,
it's
this is her first starring role. Like, I mean, all of her other roles are very minor.
Yeah.
You know, this is her first full,
and
legit
people that say
starring
that
role.
she's
I
like
think
the
she did a good
worst
job.
actor ever is like it
She's
just
not.
blows my mind when
Get
people
outta
say
here.
Not. She's
Dude,
not.
she's
She's fucking.
fine. There's
Keanu
nothing wrong
Reeves.
with her.
She's got a
Keanu
nice
Reeves.
body.
Keanu Reeves makes fucking 10 million in a movie, and he's the worst actor ever. Man.
69, dude. Come on.
No, I
Like,
mean, Lords of Salem. There's a one scene that I absolutely love, and it's the scene where you have Sherry Moon with the other three women, the older women, and she's like, they're talking about the difference between destiny and fate, and I thought that was some genius, like awesome, interesting
And some great
writing.
cameos in there too,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, dude,
Your typical
I
Rob
honestly
Zombie
thought that it
films.
was, it's what I want to see from Rob Zombie, an original effort. I don't want to see any more remakes, even though I like, Halloween. I didn't care for H2 too much. But House of a Thousands, Devil's Rejects, both, and Rob Zombie's always done that. I mean, like the Devil's Rejects is a chainsaw film. Like it's very reminiscent of Texas Chainsaw and all those type of films. It
Yeah.
doesn't mean that it's completely unoriginal garbage. It just
Yeah.
means that it's influenced by what he's a fan of, which is
Yeah.
what almost any horror fan will do
I
when
agree.
they're making a film.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have heard like fair criticisms of it that I could see why it wouldn't be somebody's type of film. But I hear a lot of unfair criticisms, like for
But
example, the main
for
one,
people
like,
saying the
Rob
movie
Zombie's
doesn't have good
super nice.
cinematography, it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that just drives me
Fucking
nuts. I'm
gnarly.
It
like,
looks great.
the movie
man.
looks
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I thought
I got the
everything that he
Blu-ray.
did is.
It's
I think
awesome.
it's his best. Well, his most awesome shot film to date.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
For
be
sure.
honest, when I first seen it, the very first time I watched it, which I've only seen it once, but when I watched it, immediately after I was done watching it, I really dug the end, but I was like unsure how much I liked it, and I had to let it simmer and think about certain scenes and moments in the film before I realized, like, I really liked it. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never have any problem with any Rob. Well, H2, I have a problem with that,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna get into that. But
Yeah,
Rob
it's
Zombie
not,
is.
it's not the best one.
It's kind of like Ty West with Cabin Fever too. Everybody has to have a shit in the bunch films.
I mean, I can make a top 5 list about like the worst, like the most annoying things people say about Rob Zombie. Like, 1, his white trashiness; 2, his wife; 3, how he cast everybody the same in the film. Like, I like all those people. Why can't we see him back and everything, man?
Yeah.
So many other people do the same thing. Like Tarantino.
Christopher Nolan.
Dude, there's so many good directors out there who did the exact same thing and they don't get
Yeah, you
criticized
find a
like
group of
this
people
man.
you like working with, and you keep working with them. What's the problem?
Exactly.
And the white trashiness thing, I hate when people talk about that, man. It's not. Rob Zombie has a style, and it's not just white trashy stuff. I mean, like, there wasn't that much of it in this film, you know what I mean? But he still has. You watch a Rob Zombie film, and you can pretty much tell that it's a Rob Zombie film.
Mm-hmm.
Based on just the style of it. He has a lot of style to him, and I love Zombie.
From the way I know Moodz, how much he loves this film, I don't think it's gonna be the last time we talk about Lords of Salem. So, should we move on? I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 on that one.
All right.
So you want to go next, JP?
We're on number 6, right?
Yep.
All right, my number 6 film of the year is Stitches.
Oh, interesting.
Stitches is one that we talked about on the short-lived Burial Grounds. And man, I was so surprised with Stitches, because you guys know.
Oh, me too, man.
I loved it.
Horror comedies. I'm not like the one like big ups that I give the Stitches right away is the very first scene. You know what you're dealing with, and
Yep.
I love when films do that because it sets the tone, and it's like, all right, I'm down for the ride. I see what it is. I like it. Let's roll. And Stitches was just it was so much fun, man. I laughed out loud so many times, and this is a film. I'll actually talk about that a little later when we get to another segment in the thing. But what like the only thing I really didn't have a whole lot of complaints about Stitches. I really did like it, man.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Like, the jokes, the humor was very good. It was
Yep.
really, really good.
Yeah.
fucking Stitches was so. I'm honestly
I love
the
Stitches.
opening scene. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe a spoiler alert, but it's not a spoiler alert. It's the whole film. But like when he
He
fucking dies,
trips. Yeah, it's so funny.
when he fucking dies in the kitchen, I'm just like,
uh,
I'm bawling, man. I'm like, this is
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I love
It's
that.
such a
And
it's
you know
such a
what
great
else,
thing.
man? Some pretty decent characters.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
liked every. See, there we go again with the characters. I liked every single. Even though the characters, was sometimes annoying, I fucking loved every single one of the characters. And that's what I had such a problem with Bloody Homecoming, which I'll talk about later. I fucking hated the characters, and
One thing I will note about Stitches, though, man. Obviously, the kills are very inventive and fun, great comedy, but the soundtrack and the timing of the soundtrack is so precise and awesome. It's got this throwback kind of like
yeah. It's like
80s feel.
hobo. It's got the hobo feel.
It's great, man.
Yeah.
It works so well to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
just worked for me.
I love it as well. So, you want to go anything else about Stitches? Anybody? No. All right, Moods, your number 6 pick of the year 2013.
Oh,
My
by the
num-
way, I gave Stitches a 8.5 out of 10. It's a fantastic film.
Yes.
I had to step away for a second. Sorry about that.
All right. Go ahead, Moods.
Okay, so my number 6 pick is going to the foreign film to you guys, the Canadian film by the legendary David Cronenberg's son, Brandon Cronenberg, Antiviral.
Okay, but we're gonna talk about this again because we kind of talked about it for an
I
hour.
know.
I mean, well,
we've
I actually
discussed this movie. Yeah.
since we've actually done that, I kind of thought about more things about that one, and I guess I'll just spoil
We
it.
broke you, didn't
This
we?
film,
We fucking
this
broke
film-
you, didn't we?
huh?
We broke
No,
you,
no,
didn't
this
we?
film didn't make my top 10,
Oh, God.
and it's I think
It
you
didn't make my
guys-
top 10 because we already talked about it for a fucking hour, so I wanted to talk about other stuff. That's why.
Well,
Hey, man,
but
was
I
just
mean
making my list
that's
based
your
on
top
exact-
10 though. It's got to be your top. It doesn't matter if we talk.
But it
about
came out in 2012. I
But it
saw
was
it in
released
2012.
on Blu-ray. Anyway, my point here is, we talked a lot about the film, and I think that one thing that I forgot to mention was the story with the obsessed people. All that was awesome, and I liked it. But when it started getting into the drama of the guy thrown into the underworld, where these people want this stuff from him, that is what I actually didn't like about it, and I didn't realize that until later on. I thought that was all done kind of not well. It was kind of it didn't really seem like these guys really wanted it so bad and that he had to escape from it. It just seemed very like cliched, and it was kind of boring to me.
No, I totally disagree because I think it works really well with that because it's like legal drug dealing, but not legal though. It's almost the same thing as like a drug dealing film, but you're using fucking.
I mean, I understand that
I
the
understand
concept is great, but the back and forth of them actually tracking him down and looking for him, I thought that I didn't buy. It wasn't entertaining to me. It just wasn't. I don't know what it was, man.
It's interesting because I completely think opposite of it. I think the movie's so original and fun and just intriguing to watch because it's so fucking weird and different. It's such an interesting idea, and only Cronenberg could do something like
I
this.
agree, but I'm wondering if a little bit of that is spillover because he's a Cronenberg and you want to like it a lot. Like
No, it's about the story. Like I think the way this movie's shot is so fucking.
yeah, that is
so
brilliant.
beautiful.
That is, and this will be on my honorable mentions list. It would have probably made my top 15, but it just, to me, like, there was just things that kind of I don't think it's I just don't know what it is about it that I can't fully jump
You
in
don't
and
like
be like,
gingers, do you? You're a ginger hater.
no, I love that guy. That guy was awesome.
I'm joking.
It was the story. It was all the stuff outside of the unique stuff. The stuff where it's just the typical, like, this guy's in trouble because he did something, and now these guys are after him, and this guy wants him too, and this girl's weird, and we don't know who she is. But like, I just think that there's like problems when it comes to the actual storytelling outside of the weird stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, do you it all see where I'm coming from? Like,
I actually don't, but I mean, the thing is, I think the movie's really overall. I think the storytelling's great. I
maybe
really
I'm
it
just
works for it
stupid
works for me.
because there
It's
was
not that you're
certain
stupid.
times in the film that
I
I
don't
was
think.
like, who is this? And what is she doing there? And why do we not know who she is? And I like
Well,
it just seemed like there was
I
a
think
lot of that.
I think there might have been, maybe a tiny bit of lack of development for some of those scenes, but at the same time, it doesn't need to be because it doesn't matter about them. It's more about what's going on with him and the main story. If you
But I
really
think
break it down, it's
I
it's
think
actually
if
quite a simple film when you really think about it, with a lot of kind of maybe almost
but
convoluted,
that's
but
what I think. Yeah, exactly. Like I think that if you're gonna go for that simple film and you're gonna make it about him, then let's only follow him and make him like I know we did follow him a
I
lot, but
think that's I think that's what kind of works though. I like that there's other elements to that too. It's about him, but
what
at the
what
same
what
time
it
there is
comes
other.
down to for me is this film has a lot of cool moments. But overall, as an entire story, I don't think it's a well told story. I think it has a lot of cool ideas and moments that I don't want to say it's not well told because it's a great film. It's a top 15 type of film of the year. But I'm just trying to display my reasons why I can't give it as much credit as you guys do.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, like, I mean, you have a fair argument. Totally, I can't argue with it. I mean, it's just all personal preference when it comes down to it. I think it just really, really intrigued me and works for me on a fucking. I could rewatch this movie all the time. I think it's great. I don't know. There's something about it. I just love the fact that you're not spoon fed at all. These characters are kind of coming in here. I don't know. It just works. It's hard to explain. It is a weird one.
Alrighty. Jeremy, if you're trying to talk, you're muted.
well, shit. I was muted for all that fucking time. Damn
I
it.
guess so.
Oh
I don't
man.
I don't know if you're trying to talk. That's weird. That's weird. I
All
don't
right.
know.
But anyway, my number 6 pick of the year goes to Lord Salem. JP goes to Stitches, and for Moods, it goes to Antiviral.
I
The
So
like
very
your little
the
recap you
very
did there,
the
by the way.
very the very controversial antiviral.
Antiviral.
No, it's not controversial. I think I'm in the minority actually. Like I think more people like it like as much as you guys than like it like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Breaking
we're
into that
in.
top five.
We're into the final stretch here. We're in the halfway mark. So yeah, let's
You know
hop
what I
into
am
this.
surprised at? Nobody's like same films has like touched like the same number yet.
Yep.
That is
My
interesting.
number 5 pick of the year 2013 goes to a film that was number 10 for Moods, and that is American Mary.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
yes, I enjoyed American Mary. Like I said before, I really connected to like the main character in this. It's the main character in this film, especially what happens to her. I really really felt for her and what actually happened to her. Most
And it's
times
more
when
than just feeling for her. You really kind of get her. You see who she is, and
yeah.
it's really displayed well on like how much levels there is to her. She's not just she's not that typical girl who's the top of her class and is
Mhm.
has all the potential in the world. She's much more than that.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what I liked about it. And it's just an odd, interesting concept. I mean, the
yeah.
body modification thing, I
Hmm.
didn't think I thought it was just a gimmick, but it actually fit really well into the film.
Yeah, I agree with you. And the way that she loses her mind over something that,
Yeah.
it's really interesting how somebody that obviously is going to be a successful doctor in the future is able to turn to this dark side and
And
do
and
some.
it's not and there's also another scene where early on when you see her go to the strip club, like she is 100% gonna strip.
Yeah.
Like and I thought that was brilliant to add like different because normally what you'd
Too bad
have
she
is you'd
didn't.
have that potential that pot- that you know has all the potential in the world, definitely going to be like a top of the line like surgeon. Like
Mhm.
normally in a film, they would go to strip and they would come to the realization that, oh, I'm better than this and I could find another way. But she was gonna strip, dude.
Yeah.
Like she was that she knew what she had to do, and I thought it just added more than your typical like straight A like overachiever, but still kind of like edgy main character that you would normally see in a character position like that. Um, I American Mary is a great film.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why it's my number 5. I gave it a. Anything you want to say, Moods? You're about to say something.
No, I was just going to comment on the fact that Catherine Isabel's it's just so sexy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, dude, she is like not only is she very attractive, she is also just a very fun actress to watch.
I'll let you know if she's like that in person because I am gonna meet her in
Oh,
August.
and she was born and raised just by me, so
Yep,
you know
that is
Dude,
very
she's
awesome.
not foreign. Come on,
she is foreign
she's
to
way
you
too cool to
guys.
be foreign. Jesus.
So I gave American Mary a 7.6 out of 10 on that one. So
7.6.
Sweet.
Wow, that's a very precise rating
yes,
right there.
Yeah, I don't usually go like I do zeros
I
and
give this one a
fives. That's
7.253
se-
weird.
repeating.
yeah, it's seven
Clive
point
used to
six
do
four
the
three eight seven eight three
yeah
two.
that Clive used to do that stuff. So
All
is it
right,
my turn? I
so
guess.
yep, JP, your number 5 pick.
Okay, my number 5 pick of the year is Your Next.
Ooh,
This is
Oh,
a
no, I
home
have not seen.
invasion film done right.
yes, yep.
Very right.
I saw that
I
first.
will say that like the reveals and stuff that happened later is a little cliche and typical, but it didn't really hurt the film too much. The the it was just like you kind of bought it as a home
Yep.
invasion film because a lot of
I
things have to work right, for you to be like, oh, why don't they do this and how come they didn't do that, and you could totally do this. I would have done this here. Like there's not a whole lot of that in this film, which is a huge plus when you're talking about the home invasion or films like that.
I love that film and fucking some of the kills in that movie just really
Yeah,
just made me. I
it's
was sitting
pretty
there in the
brutal.
theaters,
What,
sitting
man?
there in the theaters, and I just wanted to go.
Yeah.
Major kudos. Like the way Ty West gets knocked off is just.
Oh, dude, how cool was Ty West in
Yeah,
that? Like
yeah,
that was pretty fun, man. I
yeah.
Oh,
thought his
that was a
character was
spoiler
perfect.
alert, wasn't it?
You
Come
know
Yeah,
on.
Ty West is in the
yeah,
movie. Come on,
No, I actually don't know shit about it, man.
look
I
at the
just
cast
well,
list, and you'll see that
yeah,
he's in the
yeah.
movie.
But this is a film that I think is I don't know if it was marketed not well, like because this had a theatrical release, right?
It's marketed well here in Illinois. I can tell you that.
I mean, but didn't it have like was this like a
maybe a
mainstream
No,
limited.
film?
No,
Like
I
was
think it was
this
a.
a
It might have had a limited theatrical
Oh,
release,
okay,
maybe
because
like a
I
couple
thought it
hundred
had a
theaters or something.
mainstream
But
release, and I was
I
like,
don't. I don't think it was
this
ever
shit was
released up
not
here.
marketed right.
it was a
Because
Lionsgate release, so
But it could have been limited.
yeah,
man, this shit
Because it
should have
was
been
not
in
limited.
place
It
of The
wasn't released
Purge,
here.
man. This shit should have
yeah,
been where The Purge was because this
I
is the
agree.
better home invasion film. Might
Goddamn.
not have the better concept, but definitely the better executed. Um,
Agree.
and even the masks, they were interesting. They weren't the greatest thing ever, but you have to have something to make it look a little different.
Yeah.
And I thought they fit. What I really liked is you have this big group the big group. I like that it was a big group. You
Mhm.
have, two
A whole
sons,
family.
a daughter, and all their, boyfriends and girlfriends and stuff. And
Mhm.
you have the big group of people, and as this like chaotic event is happening, like you're unraveling like these little
You feel like
beefs
you're
they
there.
have with each other, and these little like problems within the family, and I like that stuff.
Yeah.
It really worked pretty well. Um, Overall, man, it was entertaining from start to end, and that's what really counts. And if you like the home invasion genre, this is one of the best. I have to say it's one of the best
Yep.
home invasion
Yep.
films I've seen.
It's the best home invasion film. You already know my opinion of Strangers. I really 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 like that film. For some reason, I'm an outcast on that one, but
This is
you're
definitely like
next.
a
Your
more
next is good.
hardcore strangers, man.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is like way.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I just watched a couple of people's reviews on this movie, and they really did not like it. And it was kind of
Fuck those
it was
people.
it was. Oh no, I watch reviews, and
Yeah,
it
you know,
doesn't
I
matter.
just
If I want to watch something, I will buy it.
Yeah.
But it was so disheartening because the people that didn't like the film. I was like, for fuck's sakes, they're big home invasion, type slasher fans and stuff, and I was kind of hurt by it. I was like, fuck, it just kind of whatever. But I still want to see this, and it sounds.
I think you'll dig it, Moodz.
Yeah, I do
Also,
too.
the director Adam Wingard was also, directed a segment in VHS and VHS2 and ABCs of Death. So this guy's,
Up and coming.
looking promising. I think this is, a strong film and this film I believe it was like completed in 2011 or something.
Yeah.
So it sat on the shelf for a while, and it kind of blows my mind when stuff like that happens, because this is the quality film. This is my number,
5
of the year. Actually, I fucked up. This was my number 4. This was my number 4 of the year.
Well, shit.
Well, way to go.
Well, I should I just spit out my number 5 then, because we won't be talking about it too much anyway.
Sure,
No,
go
man.
ahead.
Just trade.
My number
just
5 is The
straight up.
Conjuring.
Just change your order.
Well, I guess we know number 5 now.
Number 5 was The Conjuring.
Oh, okay. We've already talked about it anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So you're next. Interesting pick. We'll talk.
Yeah, that was my number 4, so obviously we will kind of skip me on number 4.
Yeah. So Jay.
God damn it. I got to be the one guy to fuck up the podcast. Jesus.
you do.
It was going so smooth.
So my top 5 pick for 2013 was VHS 2. We've talked about this. All I can say,
that
man,
kind of surprises me, man.
I
Like,
love
I thought
it.
that I would have liked VHS 2 more than you.
Oh my god, dude! I really really enjoyed VHS 1, and then VHS 2 I watched, and I was like, holy fuck! I just felt like, 3 of the 4. I mean, there was definitely less segments in it by 1, I think, but
Yeah.
the last 2 just blew me out of the fucking water, man. I love the second one. I do agree. I think we all in agreement that the second one was probably the worst in the
On the bunch.
I thought it was
VHS
still a neat thing, though. It was kind
No,
of
no,
cool
no.
to see.
Not
I
saying
didn't
it's
say the
bad.
worst. I meant the weakest. I didn't say it was bad. I meant the
Yeah.
weakest.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
meant the worst out of the 4, so the weakest. It's just a bad choice of words. But
No, well, earlier you said that you liked it too, so I
do-
didn't,
I do- I do
take
like
it
it.
that way. But I'm
I
just
do
saying,
like it.
like,
but
reiterating that
holy fuck
it's
me though.
pretty neat.
Like Jason Eisner's and the guy that directed the Raid. They did those things were so solid. Like, I just really liked how VHS 2 was all developed. Again, the wraparound story. I don't know if we talked on this, but I don't think it was very strong. Again,
It was better than the first one.
it was better than the first one, but I mean, on a strong level, do you consider it to be a good wraparound story?
You know what? I thought it was solid up until like the final of it,
Yeah,
which is what I
Yeah.
thought about the first one too.
Yeah.
but I mean, the most memorable thing about these VHS films is the segments, not the wraparound story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
You know,
always like
it
that.
doesn't really matter to
The
me.
last segment though, man, how balls to the wall was craziness, man.
Yeah, dude. Like,
It was fucking, dude. Honestly, it was pretty creepy. I was
Yeah.
pretty creeped out, man.
it was so fucking good. Jason Eisner, from the foreign land of Canada. This joke is never gonna die. I think he did such a great job with developing. The one thing about that segment that made me laugh though is when the camera's on the dog.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of gimmicky.
Yeah, well,
but
that's something
it kind of
we
made me
touch on
laugh.
in VHS.
But it kind of made me work.
That was
It
so
kind of
creative in the original one, which ways they was using the cameras, because that's everybody's number one complaint in the found footage is drop the camera and run, you idiot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like them finding creative ways to use the camera, I think it was, how many creative ways can there be? So obviously we're on a lesser tier of creative ways going into VHS 2, but I still thought for the most part they were pretty good.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, the opening segment in VHS 2 with the camera in the eye.
Yeah, which is creepy as hell, man.
Balls as
I don't
hell.
want a
It's
camera in my eye
super
where
boss.
people can watch
It's
what I
super
see.
boss. I don't care what anyone says. It's super boss because that's the perfect place on your body to have a camera is in your eye.
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
get any
Dude,
more
and
POV than your
That chick
own
that like
vision.
came and followed him, pretty damn cool chick.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
So,
So-
VHS 2, if I had to rate VHS 2, I'm going to give it a fucking 8.5 because I really just
I'm
I don't know. I
glad
loved
that you
it. I
liked it that
loved it
much,
with a
dude.
passion.
I think it is a film that deserves all the praise you just gave it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, for
loved
sure.
it.
So, my number 5 pick goes to American Mary. JP's number 5 pick goes to The Conjuring and
Good
Moodz.
job.
And Moodz number 5 pick goes to VHS 2. So, number 4, JP, I
I
think
guess I'll go first.
I think
Mine
you'll.
was You're Next.
Me
Should I talk about
too!
it? Oh, that's
My
see,
number
that's the
4
first
pick.
time that happened.
My number 4 pick
Oh,
goes
and
to
we
your
just talked about
next.
this, how we didn't have the same choices on the same number.
Yeah, and you pretty much agree with like mostly what I said. I pretty much agree with
Absolutely.
mostly what you said. Probably all of what you said and all of what I said. It's a fantastic film, Moods. You're gonna love this one.
There is
Everybody
one
out
scene
there,
with the
you're gonna
blender
love this
moods.
one too.
One scene with the blender moods you're gonna fucking love, like I did, because that was my favorite kill in the film. But enough about that. Me and JP share our number 4 picks with your next. I fucking loved it. I gave it a 7.8 out of 10 on that one. So, Moods, what's your number 4 pick?
My number 4 pick is Rob Zombie's Lords of Salem.
Ugh.
I absolutely fucking loved this film. And I was really hurt when people were like giving reviews and they were saying that they hated it so
Danny
much.
crushed me, man.
Danny crushed me so bad. Me and Danny talked about this personally, and he's like, Moods, he was like, I know. He even apologized in his review to me. He even said, I know, Moods, you're going to not like this review. And I'm like, ah, fuck. But, you know, I respect that, though. That's totally fine. If you don't like the film, that's totally cool. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I thought it was
I
cinema awesomeness. I just loved it. I thought it was great.
Yep. So what'd you give
also,
it?
you know, I can come off as like a dick when I'm debating why I think it's better than you think it is, or what, vice versa. But in all honesty, I respect everybody's opinion. You're allowed to say whatever you want, and I would still like you as the same as I would, unless you say Rob Zombie's wife is a stupid cunt and shouldn't act. Like then I'm like you a little less, but I'll probably still like you.
I understand it doesn't make sense. I rated Lords of Salem 8.5.
8.5.
And a
All
half.
right. So number 4 picks. Me and JP agree on your next as our number 4 picks, and Mood's number 4 pick is Lord Salem. So it's time for the top 3 films of the year 2013, and I think you guys will be extremely surprised where I say my number 3 pick of 2013 goes to the anthology film All Hallows Eve, which is put out by Image.
I don't know what that is.
It is an anthology film put out by Image, which started out as it's kind of a combination of shorts that were shot and uploaded to YouTube by this director, and it was all put together with a middle story and put all together into this film. And it's basically a 3-piece anthology film about it takes place on Halloween, and this kid goes trick-or-treating, of course, and goes back to his house where the babysitter is there, and they find an VHS tape in his trick-or-treat bag, and they, of course, play the film, and that's where the anthology film takes place, and it stars the first film stars this fucking awesome this clown is this fucking amazing in this film. It's on the cover of the film, the killer who is the clown, and he's just fucking creepy as
I gotta step away for 1 second. Keep talking.
Oh man, he's just creepy as all hell, and you think you know right away that this clown is a little fucked up in the head. And the first film pretty much is about a lady who is sitting in a train station, and this clown appears out of nowhere and sits next to her and drugs her up and basically captures her to this middle of nowhere in this train depot, and she gets captive and gets raped by witches and the devil. That's pretty much it about the first story of the film.
Sounds fucking awesome.
It's batshit fucking crazy.
So I went to go buy this the other day, and of course it went up on Amazon.ca. It went from 13 to 15. I'm like, God damn it. Fuck's sakes. I'm not paying 15 for the fucking DVD. Fuck that.
Blows.
I know.
You have to check out. It's fucking good. The second story, like we discussed, it's definitely the poorest of the bunch. I noticed that in this, watching, hearing you guys talk about these anthology films, that the second story always seems to be the weakest of the bunch in most anthology films. But it's about this lady who just moved into this new house, and she hears a giant crash outside, and of course it's this alien in this ridiculous fucking typical generic alien suit. That's my main problem with the film, is the way this fucking alien looks. It's your generic South Park looking alien. If you guys know the aliens in South Park, this is what this fucking thing looks like.
Trust me, it's like one of my favorite shows ever. I know.
It's just
And honestly, if we wasn't a horror podcast, I would totally do a top 20 shows of all time, and South Park would be up there.
yeah, that's for sure.
Fuck yeah. Oh,
But
fuck yeah.
you know, this alien is, you know, hunting her down and all fucking bullshit. And then we get to the third story, which is the clown story. And this clown is fucking awesome. Creepy as all hell. You guys need to see this film to understand what I'm saying about this.
And this
fucking
came out in
clown.
2013.
Indeed. Came out in 2013, released by Image. And this clown,
Did you hear
basically-
this one, Moodz?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. I've been wanting to get
How
this
did
for a
I
long
miss
time.
this?
The weird thing about this movie is that this one's called All Hallows Eve, and then there's another movie called Hallows Eve
Yeah.
that came out in the same year.
And there's probably another one called like Hollow.
No, just
or some
Eve.
shit.
Just Eve.
Yeah.
So the third story, basically, this up-and-coming actress from New York driving down the highway needs gas, so she stops at the last gas station for, you know, how many aisles. The clown is shitting and pissing in the gas station bathroom and spreading it all over the walls. And the
What the
gas station attendant comes out and bitches about the clown, and the clown comes out and kicks him out. But of course, you know that's not what's gonna happen. So the gas attendant comes out, fills up the lady's car, and they hear a bang in the gas station. Of course, he goes in. You know what happens. I'm not gonna spoil how he gets, but it's pretty fucking gnarly the way this clown is. This is the way he acts. It's just
so good.
It's just fucking amazing, and I hope that the director branches out this character and makes more films with this character because I could not get enough. I was
That
not
good, huh?
I was not hyped up about this film as much as I was with Hobo with a Shotgun when it came out. I fucking dug this film. There is child killing in it, JP, so that is right up your alley.
Hells yeah.
Decapitation, head killing, but it's just an awesome
Decapitation, you say? Ooh.
Yes, just an awesome anthology film. I really enjoyed it. You could see all the shorts on YouTube.
And
like you
dude,
said.
that's something that I don't think we've mentioned one time. Me and Moodz are huge fans of the anthology format, and that's I'm totally down. I probably need to see this.
Really good. That's why I made my top three. Really, well, when we talk about the biggest surprise of the year, you know, this is definitely going to be on my list because I did not expect to enjoy this film as much as I did, and I really hope the director uses this clown character as his advantage because he is a fucking lunatic, but he's creepy as all fucking hell. And I really loved the film. I gave it an 8 out of 10. So
That sounds awesome. Awesome.
I really liked it. So yeah, that's my number 3 pick. So JP, what is
Well,
your pick?
my number 3 has been talked about already. My number 3 is actually American Mary.
God damn.
High up
right?
there.
That's Mary at number 10, and I loved it. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. It was crazy. Like I thought it was just really cool, man. Like we talked about it, you know. I talked about it. You know, I tried not to give away that it was even on my on my list, you know, because like I figured at a certain point to be like, if it hasn't showed up now, then it probably isn't going to.
Yeah.
And I tried to like talk about it like not super happy, but it kept coming through like, yeah, I really love this about it and I love that about it. And I really did love all those things. I was really surprised with this one. It was super awesome. Yeah, I mean, I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. I wasn't expecting it to be as nearly as good as it was to me.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of hype about
Like
it going
honestly,
around
when
it.
I was doing this
That
list,
was the thing
I
that
was
kind of hurt it for a lot of people. I found just from listening and watching people's videos and stuff
was
is
it
that
I heard it?
American Mary was kind of just overhyped, right? And then
Okay,
you know,
that's
and then
the thing.
people watch it and they're like,
The-
oh no, it's it's pretty good, but a little overhyped. But I'm like, you know what, man? Fuck, if you can get past that, just go into a film with your own fucking mind.
Yeah,
Who cares
which is
about the
hard to
hype?
do.
It's just
It's easier said than done sometimes, right?
I agree.
And
yeah.
and what did I say about this one? Right when you first started talking about it at number 10, I said when everybody was talking about this one, I avoided it. I didn't hear anything about it really. I didn't listen to anything. I just knew that people were talking about it. And I think that was like the best case scenario for this film for me. And actually, I literally just watched it, a couple days ago in preparation for this show, along with The Conjuring within like the same night. And The Conjuring, I was actually expecting that film to make my top three because The Conjuring seemed like it was the number one of the year. So I was like, that got to make my top three, right? So I saved it for last, and it probably got a bit overhyped, but I thought, it still made my top five. Um, so yeah, American Mary, I don't need to say much more. And this is not one of those cases where I just want my list to be different. So I'm like putting a film that wasn't expected, lower. I truly liked it more than the other films above it. Your Next was pretty close, though. I like Your Next about the same. But yeah, I mean, I really did like American Mary a lot. So yeah, that's my number three.
Cool. Moodz, your number three pick of the year.
My number three has also been talked about, and I think it's on all three of our lists, is Stitches.
I can't really argue with that.
I can't argue.
Number 6 on my list.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, when I first watched Stitches, I barely ever do this with movies.
You popped it right back in and watched it.
I literally fucking watched the movie, and then when it fucking went back to the menu, I hit play again and watched it again because I loved it that much. I don't even remember last time I watched a movie 2 times in a row and spent 3 hours on one film. Yeah. And I fucking loved it. And then I'm not shitting you. 3 days later, my buddy came over and I'm like, "You have to watch Stitches with me." And we died laughing and we watched it again. Film. And then I watched it like 6 other times. I've watched it. I watched it like 10 times this year already. I loved it.
I remember when we covered it on the Burial Grounds, and I saved it for like last to watch. I didn't save it. I like put it off till last because we did like 4 films, modern slashers, I believe. And I was like, all right, well, this Stitches one funny clown movie, probably not up my alley. So I just put it off, and I was like blown away with how much I like Stitches. It was like so.
Because it has a good tone.
It has a great tone, not even a good one.
And a great soundtrack. Like, everything about the film just works.
We didn't even talk about the clown guy. That dude's fucking awesome. That's Freddy. That's fucking Freddy Krueger. That's funny Freddy Krueger right there. Like that. Like he's as good as like Robert Englund is at being funny Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, Ross Noble is he's a comedian in the UK, right?
I didn't know that.
I hope that they fucking do a sequel to
this. Me too.
To be honest,
dude, I can barely pay attention to the close foreign places.
On the same landmass, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, Stitches, man, gets like a highest recommendation, 8.5 out of 10. Like I fucking love this movie.
You said
it's
it was
so
a 9.
I mean, 9 out of 10. I mean, that's what I meant to say. I'm looking up.
Yeah, 9. Yeah, because I remember you rated it high on Burial Grounds.
Yeah. 9 out of 10. I wrote my things down and I fucking looked at the wrong one. But 9 out of 10 for Stitches. I loved it. I love the look of the clown. Just everything about the film is fun. It's a fun movie. It
really is. You just if you're not a fan of horror comedies, you're gonna not like it. But even if you're just a casual fan of horror comedies, I still think you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
But seriously, some of the best inventive kills though. Yeah. And fucking awesome kills.
I don't see the type of people that wouldn't like a film like this. Like
the umbrella,
I don't really
the umbrella
know.
Fucking still even thinking about the umbrella scene makes me laugh, man.
I gotta pick
it's the way it pops out.
What am I doing with myself? How do I not own this?
All right, so my number 3 pick of the year goes to All Hallows Eve, which is an awesome anthology film. You guys run out, check that out. JP is American Mary, and Moodz is
what was
Stitches.
American Mary for you, Jeremy?
Number 5.
Okay, so it wasn't that far apart from you.
So I have it number 10, you have it number 5, and JP has number 3.
That's like the 3 like milestone points in a top 10. Yeah. 10, 5, and 3.
Yeah, and I wasn't even being biased. American Mary, Suska's sisters, being Canadian like me, they live right next door to me, and they're number 10. So I'm not being biased. Come on.
All right.
I think we all can agree that it's awesome though.
Yeah.
All these films are pretty awesome.
Definitely. So my number 2 pick of the year goes to The Curse of Chucky. Big shocker.
I was
Movies, now you know what my number 1 film is.
Another one I can't talk about though. I can't talk about The Curse of Chucky.
Yeah, Curse of Chucky.
I haven't seen it yet.
Jeremy, just go ahead and let loose, I guess.
All right. So we kind of got loose about this when JP talked about it. my
Getting
opinion of Chucky,
nostalgia.
my history with the Child's Play franchise. Um, I I don't know what else more to say because we pretty much talked about my opinions about it
Yeah,
when.
and we can't talk about it too much
Yeah,
because
I don't want to
we
ruin
want
it for
Moodz to be
moods.
pretty fresh in this one.
Um, I really, really, really hope that they Universal pumps out some more Child's Play
Was
sequels.
that Universal who did
Indeed. Yep.
this one?
Yep. I think they did every single one.
No, MGM. That's the reason that you couldn't get them in the box set for the longest time.
Oh,
MGM
really?
was the first one, I
Yeah.
guess.
And then Universal did all the other ones,
And
right?
that's why a remake never happened, is because who owns the rights to remake something? The person
Yeah.
who made the original film or the one who made the sequels? Because
I
what is
guess
a
it
sequel?
depends if they sold their soul or not, though.
Yeah.
But so
Curse
you know,
Chucky gave it an
I thought
8.3
I
out of
thought
10.
I mean Brad Dourif, man. Come
Yes.
on. Brad Dourif.
I loved the aspect of that film, the backstory of Charles Lee Ray.
Yeah,
I
that don't get into
fucking
that too
I'm not
much.
gonna get into it, but
That completely
we'll
surprised me, man.
we'll do an entire show on Curse of Chucky when Moods watches.
We'll do a whole Child's Play
Yeah.
show one day.
Yeah, we could do that too, but yes, thumbs
I'd
up
be
for
down.
Moods. Yeah, but Curse of Chucky, and a great, great, great addition to a series that I was dying inside about these last
Yeah.
two sequels, but
Yeah,
um,
man.
I really enjoyed it. I give an
I mean,
8.3 out of 10 on that one.
let a 3 out of 10. What?
8.3.
Oh, it's like a 3 out of 10.
No,
No, but
8.3.
okay, so Curse of Chucky, alone the fact that it was able to take a franchise that was completely down in the gutter and get you excited about a potential Child's Play sequel, and just excited about the
That's a
film
good
again.
point.
That's
a good point.
awesome, man. I love when that happens. It doesn't happen often, but
That's a good
when
point.
it does,
That's why I'm
it's
so
great.
stoked to watch this, man, because Seed of Chucky was, oh my
Ash.
god,
Seed
like
of
an
Chucky was-
abomination. It was so bad. It was
Me and
so
my
bad.
grandma were sitting in the theater like face palming our heads because we were
I'm
such
wondering-
Child's Play fans.
What'd your grandma think of Redman?
Of what?
The
Redman.
rapper Redman.
Yeah, you all know opinions of rappers and films, but that's sort of
You know,
thing.
it never-
We should
never
do a
puts
show
up.
we should do a show of all films that include rappers in some way or another, and just
I
bash
mean,
them.
you'd
But
have to do a top 5 worst, right?
yeah, right. But yeah,
Dude, no way does anything top Resurrection though.
yeah. Come on. Well,
It's the worst.
Texas Chainsaw 3D. I have to.
Oh man, dude, I didn't even know that guy was a rapper. I just knew he was a celebrity.
I think he's a singer. I think
Dude,
he's a singer.
Motherfuckers with
Whatever
Texas
he is,
Chainsaw,
but-
fucking goddamn it, man.
But yeah, Curse Chucky. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend that one. So, JP, what's your number 2 pick of the year?
My number 2 pick of the year is Lords of Salem.
Oh.
Fucking dude, man. I when I said I loved it, I really did, man. And I watched this early in the year too. This was at the beginning of October when I watched this, and that's not early in the year, but it's early compared to the films on this list because the only one that was before that, I believe, was Evil Dead and maybe Stitches. Everything else I watched after, and Lords of Salem has stayed in that one of my favorite experiences of the year. I was just honestly, I wasn't. I mean, maybe it came from me not expecting to like it, as much. Even I didn't expect much out of it at all. And like I said, it was a film that it took time to like simmer and really feel it to like it as much as I did. But yeah,
I'm actually quite surprised that Lords is so high on your list. I didn't really
Yeah.
think you liked it that much, but I mean, my Lords is number 4 on my list. So what can I say? Number 2, number 4, whatever.
Yeah.
All
right.
I agree, man. I agree, dude. That
Yeah.
movie
I mean,
is so
but
good.
you
Dee
can even
Wallace.
see-
Dee
you can
Wallace
see-
is so good in the movie. Dee Wallace is so awesome.
Yeah.
I want to meet
you
her.
see a case for why Lords would be somebody's number 2, right? I mean, I
Yeah,
could see
totally.
a case
Yeah.
why it'd be
Oh yeah.
1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Moods. Your number 2 pick.
My number 2 pick is based on our DVD release this year, and it's Alice Kills.
Ah. Thank you. Somebody.
Yes.
Dude, I thought this didn't count. I didn't watch it because I thought it didn't count.
I didn't.
No,
I don't have it on my list because I saw it last
Yeah, but
fall or something.
I thought, wait, it was just a Canadian, like a foreign, like a release this year. It was already out in the States, right?
No, it didn't come out to the States until this year.
No,
Dude,
was-
I specifically asked, "Does Alice Kills count?" And nobody fucking answered. Nobody said it counted.
dude, I said
have it.
this
I would
movie
have
is from
watched it.
2013.
You
Our
motherfuckers
release is
my top 10.
2000.
It might have made it.
Oh, it probably would have, man.
Oh,
That sucks.
man.
That sucks because
I've
I
owned
mean,
it for
you
like.
should have watched it anyways, man.
Yeah.
But you have it.
Everyone should watch Alice Kills because
Alice Kills is
it's
I mean,
brilliant.
we did an entire review on this. Anyone that's been following this podcast knows exactly our feelings on this one. But man, this movie it's really good.
Yeah,
It has
Don't say
honestly one of the best endings.
yeah.
It's so funny.
Don't ruin it for JP because I want to hear JP's opinion when he watches it.
I won't. But overall, the whole film has a great tone, and it keeps it up though. That's what I like. It doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. It feels good, and it's a fucking fun film, man. I mean, most people know the film as Alice. I think that's the original title of it.
Yep.
It was released in the UK a couple years ago, but I couldn't recommend it enough. Alice Kills. It gets
Awesome.
a 9. It gets a 9 out of 10 for me. I love it.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Yep. All right. So my number 2 pick of the year goes to Curse of Chucky. JP's number 2 pick is Lord Salem, and Moodz' number 2 pick goes to Alice Kills. So it's the moment of truth. 2 hours in the making. The number 1 film of 2013. You guys want to guess what mine is? Let's all guess if we could guess what each other's number 1 film is.
This has to be the
Maniac.
same.
What do you think it is?
Maniac.
Maniac.
My number 1 pick
What?
is Stitches. Number
Are you
1,
fucking
Stitches.
serious? Maniac didn't make your top 10?
Nope. Stitches. Stitches, Stitches, Stitches.
Interesting.
I love
Whoa.
fucking Stitches. The moment I went to Best Buy and bought
What
that
the
fucking
fuck is going
Blu-ray.
on? Wait a minute. What?
I actually thought that we're all coming down to Maniac here. That's so
So
crazy.
did I.
You
got
guys
Maniac,
both
right?
have
We
Maniac
both
as
have-
number
okay.
1?
Yeah, and we didn't like. I didn't know.
Well, because you hadn't picked Maniac. You didn't have
yeah,
it
so
on
it
top 10.
had to be
Oh.
Maniac. like
That's hilarious.
I didn't-
If we all
I
would have
didn't
had
say
Maniac. That
I
would have
didn't-
been hilarious.
I didn't tell
So close.
anybody that I had Maniac as number 1.
No.
Moodz didn't tell me that he had Maniac as number 1, and you didn't tell us what you had. So that's why it's so
Well,
surprising.
we
Because
never discussed our list at all.
yeah, and I was totally.
So-
I was like, Maniac has got. As soon as we got to number 2, and Maniac wasn't number 2 on his list, I was like, all right, everybody has Maniac. How fucking crazy is that?
Nope. I went with Stitches.
Well, what's even more crazy is Maniac didn't make his top 10. What's going on here?
We thought it was number 1, and it didn't even turn out that it was in his top 10. Crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. But anyways, yeah, so Stitches.
Stitches.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
I
I
love
mean,
have it at number 3.
I can see an argument for that, but I mean, dude, I kind of have a beef with putting a horror comedy as number 1 horror. That's why I didn't put.
I would have put Hobo with a Shotgun the number 1, and that wasn't a fucking horror.
I don't even
straight
think
up
that. From what I hear, that's not even a horror film. Correct?
horror.
It's a grindhouse film.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
grindhouse film.
which is lumped into the horror genre, which is fine. But no, like last year, Cabin in the Woods, I really liked, but I picked VHS over Cabin in the Woods because, like, one, VHS was a little better, but I mean, it also factored in that it's more of a real horror film. Like, and I'm kind of a little picky about that. Like, I like I like the horror genre. Horror comedies are cool, but the horror genre is mainly what I like.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Stitches. I just
I do too. I mean, I
I-
could see an argument for it.
I mean,
I saw
I
it
have
all
it
the way
sitting at number
back.
3.
I saw it all the way back in the beginning of when it came out.
Mine was number 6.
Like the first week it came out, and I it's still my number 1 pick today, all the way in January. So I fucking loved it. I thought it was fucking hilarious. The kills were awesome. The characters were fucking amazing. The backstory to Stitches and the way he dies is just fucking hilarious.
Moods. If right before he said what's my number 1, if would you have bet money that it was gonna be Maniac? Because I was so certain that it was gonna be Maniac.
When he announced our number 2s, what they all were, I immediately thought that all 3 of us had Maniac. And I
Yeah,
was like,
I would have put money on that. I would have been like, if somebody was like told me to bet on it, I would have bet on it.
okay, so since we've all killed the buzz about what our number 1s are, we obviously have announced that our number 1s are Maniac.
Yeah, which I wasn't so sure if you would. I actually thought Jeremy was gonna have Maniac as number 1.
I wasn't
I
blown
didn't
away
know
with
if-
it to be number 1.
What?
I wasn't blown away with it to be my number 1.
You
Yeah, I mean,
wasn't blown away with it to be on your top 10 though.
Mm. No,
I mean, dude,
I
you
didn't
put
love it.
ABCs of Death on your top 10,
hey
but
man,
not.
it's all personal. You can't criticize his top 10 list. It's his list, right?
But
But you know
Actually,
what, man?
if you weren't
Okay,
in such a fucking rush last week, JP, we could have talked about it.
but no, what I'm saying is like what? But why can't you ask like why though? Like why can't I ask why? Like
I wasn't impressed with it that much, to be honest. I I guess
I mean
I
that's
guess
part of the fun. It's debating.
I respect what you guys' opinion about why you love. I think Moodz loves the film so much because he has such a strong connection with the original film. He loves that film so
But
much.
I think that
So
would be one of the reasons why most people
no,
would not
because
like it.
when he watched the film, it brought him back to the same feeling he had when he watched the original, and I think that's why he loved it so much. To be honest,
Why
because
did I love it so much?
I don't know why you loved it so much. Please explain.
Well, for one, the way it's shot is, dude. I can literally start from anywhere. All right, the one scene that I love, the scene where he meets the chick online and they go home, and you have the Buffalo Bill song playing as she's like, dude, that shit is just brilliantly shot, and the sound and the scene, the fucking scene in the bathtub where this woman's like reaching for the glass and he slowly taps it, like it is just like I was blown away by how like just artistic this shit was.
hmm
Yeah. Mm.
I totally agree, man. I was like, I mean, we talked about this earlier, and I was very, very weary on, you know, Elijah Elijah Wood playing the fucking lead in this film, and it didn't really matter, dude. It was shot so brilliantly, soundtrack worked so well.
Like
Um,
that moment, I gotta start on that moment again. The moment when she's in the bathtub and he's just standing there watching her. It's so creepy. And he nudges the glass towards her as she's feeling for it. And it's something that if you're in her position, it doesn't quite register it like, hey, I didn't move my hand any and the glass just got to my hand. Like, but it didn't really register to her right away, you know? And it's like it's stuff like that was just like, man, it was just so interesting to watch. This is like a character study of this character and all the characters around him as he interacts with them, and the whole mannequin thing was awesome, taken from the original but expanding on it. And you got the mother angle there that was
one of
even
my
I thought
one of my
was
favorite
really
parts,
played well.
one of my favorite parts in the film, man, is honestly when Elijah Wood is fucking when he's talking to the mannequin, he's putting a fucking scalp on the mannequin's head, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry," and he's talking in this like real calm voice. He's like, don't worry, it's gonna hurt a little bit though," and he's like stapling it into the fucking head, and he does it 3 times. He's like, "Hey, that's one more time, and he does it again. I'm just like. It
And
really showcases how fucking crazy he is. Like he's fucking nuts, man.
yeah, and
I
another
love
scene
it.
that just shows like these nuts moments, but doesn't specifically point at it, is when he walks in the room one time and he sees the mannequins, and they're in a position that you can tell earlier in the film he was doing something with them. They're like in the position where the one mannequin is like in between the legs of the other mannequin and stuff. Um, it's stuff like that, and it only shows it for a brief second when he first walks in a room, and he, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like that, like it doesn't dwell on it. It doesn't say like, hey, look how fucked up this guy was. He was doing like weird shit with mannequins. Like it's just subtle, and it's like you see like that stuff, and it just like it really like magnifies like the extent of this dude's mental state.
But you know, man, me being the biggest fan of the original film, I gotta say, man, there's one scene in that film, like that huge homage to the original film. I don't really want to give anything away, but when he kills
Oh,
someone out
the
in
yeah,
the
man,
parking lot,
that
and
is that is,
it
and that
pans
was
back, and then you see the shadow, and it's the
and
poster
what is
of
that
the
but
original film.
creative artisticness? You know what I mean? Like
But
that
I
is so
love that
creative.
nod. I love that nod to the original film. I thought that was so fucking awesome, and it honestly made me love the film even more. I was like, you know what? They respect the original. They did exactly what they needed to do. I thought it was awesome. It was
And
so brilliant.
and you know, mad props to Elijah Wood for, like you said, you think of him, you don't think of like the original guy. What was his name? The original guy who played the
Joe
maniac,
Spinell.
Joe Spinell. Yeah, Joe Spinell. Completely different type, body type, person. It's just he's completely different, and
That's what I
that's
liked
what I.
about it, and
Yeah,
that's
it
one
felt
thing I
like it
loved about
worked.
this because they wanted to create their own film. You know, they didn't want to recreate this overweight kind of rugged looking person. You know, they had a skinny fucking good looking person or whatever. I mean, if you know,
Ooh,
and
Moodz got a crush on Elijah Wood.
apparently I do. But I'm just saying, you know, he's opposite. He's completely opposite. You
Yeah,
know, he's
yeah.
attractive compared to Joe Spinell. Everyone knows he had a rough look. He had a rough
Oh
look
yeah.
to him, right? You know, and he was bigger. You know, Elijah was skinny and
Small.
a
He's
lot more
small.
clean.
He's
He was a lot
he
more
was
clean looking,
short. You know what I mean?
and
Um,
and I love that about it. I think it worked. So
and another thing we haven't even talked about, like the point of view angle. Um, like you know that has been done before, you know, but this film really does it well, and and it's to the point where it comes off so stylized with just the way he, like the way when you're following the camera into rooms and stuff with the music in the background, it just really is like it's so awesome to look at. It's the whole time you're watching that film, you're just interested in what's in the camera and where it's going, and it never it loses your interest with that.
exactly, I felt the exact same thing. I felt like every time there's a shot, and when you got to see how they showed Elijah Wood, and they never really hid the fact that they were, didn't want to show him. It was just the way it was. It was the POV, and when he was shown, right?
Yeah,
But they didn't really fucking, it wasn't a mystery. And I love that about how it was shot, man. It was like
yeah.
you knew who the killer was because you see him right away. But then he wasn't shown until these certain spots in the film, and I thought that was so awesome.
I
I
also
fucking loved it.
I kind of like that. That obviously there's a moment in the film where you know shit starts falling apart. That's, you expect that in a film. But it was never to the point where there was this build up, like he kept getting crazier and crazier. He was the same crazy throughout the whole film. Shit just went downhill.
Brings to a point that I wanted to talk about how the tone of the film is so perfect throughout the whole thing. It kind of keeps the whole thing until, the major breakdown at the end. The
Yeah,
tone is so good. It
yeah.
just works so well throughout the whole film. Everything's
It's
kind of,
not like he's just
it's,
getting
it,
madder and madder.
no,
He's
it's,
just
it's this perfect tone, and you just kind of, and all of a sudden it's just like, bam, here's the end.
it's like
I
it's
liked it.
not it's like one day it's like we're getting a glimpse into the week of this guy's life, just at one point in his life, and it just happens to be the point where stuff, bad starts happening. And also we can talk about Anna. Like, I thought Anna was great. Like, she was really good.
Yep. Yep.
I thought
It's,
everybody was really good, man. And the
yeah.
gore, come on, the gore was great,
Yeah.
and it was
And
brutal and
one thing
real.
I really liked about the film though is how they use like the out of focus shots to kind of focus on Frank's reality and stuff, right?
Yeah,
It kind of pollute
yeah,
his reality and stuff. I really like that aspect. I thought that was really kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of a homage to the original one, but just done differently
yeah.
in
And
that
when
sense.
he meets that girl, and he's like timid, whatever, and he just has this like personality about him where like he has this shyness and this, the and like I really liked what they did with the mom character, because I was like, yeah, that's, this is fucked, man.
Hmm. Hmm.
But it
Yeah.
wasn't never like over excessive. Like it wasn't to where it felt like it was like out of place or out of context or too much. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. One thing I really did notice, man, remember the scene where he's getting off the train in the train station? Did you notice how fucking vibrant and realistic and everything looked in the train
I
station? Like the
love it,
colors were
dude. I
amazing.
noticed that in the
It looks
trailer. I watched
so
the trailer
fucking
for it.
awesome. But like when
Yeah,
you watch the movie, it looks so much better because it looks
yeah.
so realistic and like awesome, and like it just looks
Blu-ray looks
amazing.
fantastic too,
It looks so amazing. Yeah.
and each kill feels like
Oh, speaking of
the
the kills,
lead
dude.
up and the actual kill, and just the you can feel it. Like you can feel like even the first one, the knife through the bottom of the jaw. I mean, this is the first kill. It's not spoiling too much. Like, dude, it was awesome.
The one kill or the one scene that really kind of got to me was the Achilles slicing. I
Yeah,
thought that was
which
so.
anytime that's done in any movie, it works. So I don't know why everybody just doesn't have an Achilles slicing in their foot. I mean, you think of like two big ones, Hostel and the other one that I think of is Pet Cemetery.
Oh yeah, totally.
Both of those have great Achilles slices. Jeremy,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
totally.
explain to me why this film didn't make your top 10.
Uh, I wasn't, I've been sitting here listening to what you guys have to say about the film.
And now he wants to put it into his like top 5 now.
No, I'm not gonna put it in my top 5. I'm gonna stand by my word and say I wasn't blown away with it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I could say about it that I didn't like or anything like that, but it just didn't stick with me like the other movies did.
We didn't sway you at all. Like we didn't open up your eyes to some like.
Did I ever say
a
that
little
the
bit.
film is bad? I never said the film was
No.
bad. I
No,
never
you
said
did.
that. I'm not saying the film isn't good. Not good. I don't know. It didn't do it for me.
Another thing I really liked about the film. Sorry, Jeremy, to cut you off, but
Oh, you're all right.
I wanted to touch on Frank's fucking his paranoia was so believable though too. The way it was done.
Yeah.
His paranoia was amazing, and that's another reason why the movie works so well because that's all what it's all about. Like Joe Spinell wrote Maniac, the original film, and it was literally based about his real mom. I mean, it's a fictional thing though. His mom was not abusive to him, but he loved his mom with a passion. But he took that love for his real mom, and then wrote this crazy story. But I love how they did this whole paranoia fucking angle in this. I loved it, man. I thought it worked great. But you notice the paranoia kind of angle happening there, JP?
Yeah, for. But yeah, I mean, I think I think that Jeremy, I think you got some undisclosed beef with this film that I don't know about because I just don't see any reason why it would not make your top 10 if like Hatchet 3 and ABC's of Death and some other films made your top 10. You're not giving me a good reason here besides it didn't blow you away. And I need to know.
Yeah.
Now I gotta think about it.
Okay,
I'm not gonna.
You can get if you can't process it right now.
I'm not gonna switch my mind. I'm not gonna switch my.
Well, you know
mind.
what, man? We can.
It's
save
not
this
about
for
switching
a
your
later
mind.
show.
If you actually feel like if you went back and revisited it and was like, you know what, this was fucking pretty awesome. That's not like going back on your word. That's just being. It's all about what mood you're in when you watch it, and where you see it, and that plays a factor into it too. I'm just not sure. I just am very curious to like what was the reason that it's not top 10 worthy.
It's just funny that you and Moodz both have the same opinion on it. It would have been funny if I would have had the same opinion. We all would have had it as our number one pick.
I know, and I really was I didn't even know you didn't you didn't love Maniac. I thought it was like you universally loved by now.
Ah, man, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, makes it more interesting. That made it funner.
Yeah.
We got some honorables.
Well, we're gonna go over our list, or are we just gonna do honorables?
You can break down the top 10 lists, and then
what
we'll go
did
into
you rate
some.
Maniac?
Me? Nice.
I'm gonna rate it a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh man.
That's what I gave it.
No.
Yeah. I mean, in a few years, it might even make that 10, but I can never give something a 10 that hasn't been tested, by time, which is the strongest test. You know what I mean? And
so you gave 9.5, and okay, cool.
All right. So
honorable mentions. I only have 2. Oh, dude, I totally forgot about something that I had wrote down on the side. My number 3 would have not been American Mary if this film was. I didn't know if I could consider this film horror or not, and it's Stoker. Stoker would have been my number 3, made American Mary my number 4, and would have pushed VHS 2 off the list if you went back.
Stoker is considered horror. Yeah.
But have you seen it?
I haven't. Well, I haven't seen it because I talked about it at the beginning
that's
of the show.
what I'm
but
saying.
Everybody has that on a horror list, so I'm going to assume that it's horror.
It's very like the line. It's like if it's there, it's barely there.
It's on a list to watch.
It's dark, but but it would have been my number 3. Stoker is amazing, dude. It's my opinion on like what you guys would think the same thing like you do about Antiviral, but this is like the better one. like I think kids would have like similar opinions about Antiviral, but this is the one where I felt everything worked and not just like some things.
Okay.
But it's something that I would compare to Antiviral. It's like beautifully shot, it's unique, it's different, and it really is a great film. So that would have been on my list if we consider it horror.
Okay.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
And honorable mentions.
We already know my honorable mentions. Maniac is one of my honorable mentions, of course. Like I said, I've
man.
the film. And Alice, of course, and Antiviral. But that's about it.
You didn't put Antiviral on your list?
No, because we already talked about it. I don't want to put it on my list.
But
I wanted to talk about something else.
You missed the concept of a top 10 of the year.
I understand my top 10 of the year, JP. I saw the film in 2012. It was on demand in 2012, and that's when I watched it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? All right. Sorry about that, guys. I guess we reached the max limit of this recorder, so we had to it cut out, so we had to redo it, but no problem. So, what were we talking about?
Okay,
Antiviral.
That was also on my honorable mentions. Probably would have made a top 15 of mine. Another one that just barely missed the top 10 for me was Insidious 2. It would have been at 11. I just had to cut one, and I just felt that the other films were stronger. And I'm kind of bummed that I had to cut Insidious 2 because I really did like it. Moodz.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't haven't seen that shit. So, okay, we're getting into my honorable mentions here?
Yeah.
Okay, so honorable mentions. I have 5, of course. I always have a shit ton. The first one is don't go to the reunion. Independent film.
One more, really quick, because you reminded me of one. All the boys love Mandy Lane. That I couldn't include it in my top 10. I really did like it, but I was up like super late and I was really tired and I fell asleep before it was over. So I didn't get to see the full film, but from the looks of it, it could have made my top 10 maybe, even though that film was made like whenever, like 2006 or something.
2006, I think. Yeah. So yeah, Don't Go to the Reunion is a independent film. It's kind of playing homage to like 80s slashers and with a twist of the 90s. If you know what I'm saying. I do recommend it. It's fucking fun. I've talked about this shit before. Yeah, check it out. Awesome cover art.
Cool.
Next film, honorable mention, is going to another Dustin Mills film that came out this year. It's called Night of the Tentacles, also known as Heart Attack. It's just another amazing fucking film by him. Great storyline, great dialogue, great effects, everything. Big props to Dustin Mills once again. Another honorable mention. Another one is Under the Bed. Loved it.
That's the one that I needed to see.
Oh, yeah. You've seen it, Jeremy, though, right? Under the Bed, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, another one of mine was Grabbers. That was a honorable mention.
Okay. So, yeah, Under the Bed, Jeremy, yeah. It's good film. Very cool film.
I forgot that one in my honorable mentions, too. That was good.
So my fourth one is going to be Chilling Visions, released by Scream Factory. It was a Chiller exclusive TV film or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's an anthology film, and I really, really highly enjoyed this film. It's fucking fantastic. I really like how the stories in the anthology come together. It's full wraparounds. Very cool how it's done. Definitely check it out. Support Scream Factory. And my last one, JP just interviewed and said it to me, but it's Grabbers. I
Yeah.
absolutely motherfucking love this movie. I thought it was fantastic. I was blown
Yeah,
away.
definitely would have made a
Where's
top.
I
Man?
was
Where's Manborg Moods?
Manborg actually was released even on DVD in 2012 though.
Oh,
This is like a new that movie actually came out in 2011. So Manborg would have been on the shit though, but yeah, the newest release is 2013, but yeah, I couldn't put it in there though because it's been out for way too long.
yeah.
But Grabbers though from the UK, it's an Irish film, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. What
But man,
what
dude,
is
it's so
is
fucking
I
good.
is
Uh,
Ireland considered the UK? Aren't they
yeah.
different?
Well, everything's from the United Kingdom, right? So
Oh, I'm bad with geography and all that
yeah,
shit. So yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's more specifically from Ireland. But yeah, anyways, it was great film. Loved it. Great effects. Fun. Awesome shit.
All right. So that is our top 10 list with honorable mentions. So we're now
Oh,
gonna.
really quickly, what did you guys think that you said that you was really surprised that American Mary and Lords of Salem were so high on my list? What would you have thought was there? Like, I'm kind of curious about that.
I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know
I
what you've watched and what you haven't watched.
honestly, dude, I thought that you VHS 2 would have been higher just because you had so much love for the first one, and I
Yeah.
personally thought it was so strong. I mean, that's if to answer your question, I think VHS 2 I thought would have been higher.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. It you thought. So yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
All right. So after a very long and lengthy discussion of our top 10 films, we're now gonna hop into the third and final segment. We've decided, which will be the awards segment, where we award
This
all
is
these.
not the final segment.
What's the final segment?
2014 films.
I thought that was the news. That's what we were talking about.
I mean, I guess it could be considered the news. I don't know.
All right. Okay. So we're doing 2014 films too. So the third segment of the show will be the awards ceremony. And this is where we're going to go down some categories and talk about the best films of the year
Yeah, which
as
these
the
will be really
category.
quick.
We hope so. But so we'll talk about the categories that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be doing the most disappointing, the biggest surprise, the best
You could
score.
just go off. You could just
Moodz
do
is
the
away
first
right
one.
now, so I'm waiting for him to get back.
okay. He's back.
All right, so I guess we'll start out with the first award, which will be the most disappointing film, and that one for me goes to Among Friends, which I watched, and I
Oh,
agree with
damn.
what Mood says that it was not that good and disappointing considering it was Danielle Harris's first film. So yeah, that's my most disappointing film.
Oh God,
My
totally.
most disappointing film. I've still not seen Among Friends, but as of right now, I don't think it could be my most disappointing because I already have super low expectations now. You know what I mean from Yin's guys' reviews. But my most disappointing film was the film that was one of the most films I was looking forward to it in 2013 because it came out in it came out in January. It was right there, right after 2012, and it's Texas Chainsaw 3D. I had a lot of like
Hype.
I was pretty damn hyped for it, but I will say this would have made my top 15. I still think it's a strong film, dude. I like it a lot, and it just was disappointing because I wish I would have liked it a lot more. I've already spoke my opinion on Texas Chainsaw 3D. Overly hated. It's seriously not that bad. It's actually good.
Huh.
Interesting. No comment on that one.
I actually kind of considered that for my most disappointing film too because I was really anticipating that film and it just felt short.
That was your most disappointing?
No, my
Oh.
most. So my most disappointing film of 2013 is The ABCs of Death because I was anticipating.
Fuck my life.
You know what's funny is that was the other choice. That was the other choice I had.
I was so stoked for this, man. I thought I was gonna like it a lot more. Like I do like it though, but the simple fact is
I
that
barely like it, to be honest,
it
man.
falls short for me. I mean, 12 out of 26 shorts I liked, and a couple of those I could probably, they weren't the best. So it's
Even
a
the ones
failure.
I liked
I was
weren't like
disappointed.
amazing though.
I mean, this is what the whole category is. Most disappointing. I was disappointed because
Yeah.
I was expecting a lot of things from it, and it just didn't work for me. So, yeah.
All right, so the award for most disappointing goes to Among Friends, Texas Chainsaw 3D, and ABC's of Death. All right, the next category will be the biggest surprise of the year 2013. Of course, I've already stated what mine is, and that will be All Hallows Eve, of course, once again, is my biggest surprise of 2013.
Yeah,
I
if
wish I
I
could talk
watched it,
about
it
this
might have
one.
been mine too, because I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
So it'd probably be pretty surprising.
Yeah, I can't even talk about it. I haven't seen it. So
My biggest surprise was it like shocked me how much I liked this film, and it was American Mary, because I knew the concept and I was like, it sounds kind of gimmicky. It doesn't really seem like I would love it. I might like it, and I ended up loving it. So American Mary was my biggest surprise for sure.
Cool. Moodz, your biggest surprise.
my biggest surprise of 2013 was Grabbers. Man, I
Huh.
love that movie. It was so good. It just fucking.
Was it really that surprising considering I said, Moods, you will love this movie?
But I had no idea what I was getting myself into, really. I didn't really, I don't know. There was something about it, and it just really surprised me. It really surprised me how good it was. I just love the cast, effects, and the main shit.
Lords of
was
Salem
hot.
was also another film that
It's not a big surprise to me because I'm a fan of Rob Zombie, so I figured I was going to get what I got, and I got it. So I wasn't surprised.
Cool. So, my biggest surprise goes to All Hallows Eve. JP's biggest surprise is, of course, American Mary. Mood's biggest surprise is Grabbers. So now we're going to go to the next category, which, of course, is Best Score. I think we all agree on this one besides Mood's. The best score has to go to Hatchet 3, even though the film is okay. It definitely has the best score, for sure.
Nope.
JP? No? How do you think Hatchet 3 does not have the best score?
It didn't. That's how. But nah, Evil Dead, man. Evil Dead had the best score.
Mm.
It had the most score, the best score. It was mostly all practical. It was awesome, man. Cutting her tongue up, cutting her arm up. No time for characters. We gotta cut shit up.
You don't think? Oh, I'm not gonna ruin Hatchet 3, but all right. I take your opinion. Well,
that's real fucking fitting, guys, because best score for myself was The Evil Dead.
It's the best score.
I just thought it was really well done, and it really fucking surprised me because theatrical release with that gore was.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, it's really good.
Kid, like 6-year-old kid, like up in front of me. It was awesome.
Really good.
I was like,
really
that was me. That kid right there will be me.
yeah, that was me too. But yeah. So best score, I think Hatchet 3, and JP and Moods thinks The Evil Dead. So the next category we're gonna be moving into is the most original, and my opinion of that is Lords of Salem is my most original film of 2013.
Okay.
Okay.
My turn. Are you saying more? Or is it?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Knocking them down.
My most original film was, I thought about Lords of Salem, but then I thought about how like a lot of that stuff's kind of been done before. But I still can see it because I almost picked it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the reason why I didn't pick it. Another film I considered was Stoker, but once again, it was not like I kind of kept it out of everything because it was like I'm not really sure if it's horror. But I picked American Mary because it was just a brand new concept that I really haven't seen before. The body modification stuff could have turned out gimmicky, and it didn't. It fit really well with the story. It was just an interesting story that I thought was pretty original.
Cool. Moods, your most original.
My most original story or film of the year goes to The Ballad of Skinless Pete.
Interesting.
Nice.
It was
Nice,
so
nice.
original and awesome. I mean, once again, big ups to Dustin Mills. He's just doing his thing, man. It blew me away. It's
Cool.
original and it's fun. So,
What did you think about American Mary and Lords of Salem? You think good choices?
definitely, those are good
Yeah,
choices.
I think Jeremy, that was my second one. Like that
Yeah.
was so that's good.
These
choice.
categories are so hard hit and miss because there's so many films that could fit in that
actually,
category.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, man. American Mary actually crossed my mind for this one
Yeah.
too. And I was like, you know what, about Skinless Pete,
Yeah.
totally. So,
All right. So my pick of most original, of course, Lord Salem. JP picks American Mary, and Moodz picks The Ballad of Skinless Pete. All right, next category, best sequel. You could probably guess what I'm going to say on this one. My favorite sequel goes to Curse of Chucky, of course.
You skipped one, dude.
No, I didn't.
Best shot.
No.
No, that's two more down.
Oh,
Wait
my list is different. Okay. Okay, Curse of Chucky. That's your best sequel.
Yes.
My best sequel is also Curse of Chucky.
Nice, of course.
Hatchet 3 was a close second. VHS 2 was a close third. But mine is Curse of Chucky. As a sequel, I think as a sequel, Hatchet 3 might be better as a sequel. But as a film that's a sequel, Curse of Chucky's better.
Okay, guys, my best sequel of the year, hands down, VHS 2.
All
No
right.
surprises there. I figured
Loved
that
it.
was coming up.
Loved it.
All right. So, my best sequel goes to Curse of Chucky, same with JP, and Moodz picks VHS 2. So now we're going to get into the best remake. We already know what JP and Moodz is. Of course, it's going to be Maniac. My favorite remake of the year is also Maniac. So we agree on
Finally
that
showed
one.
Maniac some love.
Yes, we all agree on that one. After the bashing of Evil Dead, I could not pick that one. I had to pick Maniac.
What's the next one on your list?
All right, best shot. This is a very easy one for me. I have to give it to The Conjuring all the way on that one for sure. It was just shot so good. James Wan did such an awesome job on this one using the simple setting he has of just this house, the way he's able to make us feel like we're there, and this is an awesome film. I really enjoyed it. It was shot beautifully, so that's what I go with. The Conjuring. It's the best shot.
Okay, for me, it was either Maniac, which I didn't pick, and it's simply because I could not, even though this film, I wasn't really considering it for a lot of these categories, I can't deny how well this film is shot, and it's Stoker.
Okay. Nothing
Such
wrong with
well.
that.
I can't wait till one of you guys see it so you can talk about it.
Yeah.
All right, so my best, shot film of the year is going to Maniac because, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I had a toss-up. I'm not going to lie, Jeremy. I actually had The Conjuring / Maniac in this category now, and I went with Maniac because I just think it works. I don't know. It worked so much better for me.
Cool.
I was awesome.
All right, so I pick Conjuring, JP picks Stoker, right, JP? And
Yeah.
Moodz picked, of course, Maniac. So the next category we have here is franchise starter.
Okay, little thing that I thought about this. It's not necessarily the one that you think will create a franchise, but the one you think should create a franchise.
Yep. And of course, I once again pick All Hallows Eve because the character of the clown, I think, could just make his own franchise itself because he's a fucking badass. So
Segueing off of Jeremy's clown, I pick another film with a clown. I pick Stitches. This should definitely be a franchise. There should be multiple Stitches.
I agree with that. I agree with that too, all the way.
Ah, shit, man. You stole my fucking... Yeah. Stitches, for sure, for a franchise.
Cool.
100%.
I'm totally okay with that. So,
yeah,
I picked All Hallows Eve, and JP and Moodz picked Stitches. So now we're going to get to the most overhyped film of 2013, and I, of course, pick The Evil Dead. Of course. Cool. Most overhyped film. Everyone was talking about it in its production when it got released.
I don't think it was overhyped. I think it was hyped just enough, right?
It
was a little
Oh my god, JP, seriously.
It was a little
Don't
overhyped.
kid yourself. Don't kid yourself.
I mean, dude, it wasn't like way overhyped. Dude, I thought The Purge was over. That's mine, The Purge. The Purge was way overhyped. That movie was not... See, in order for something to be overhyped to the extent of being the most overhyped, it also has to be a bad film, I think. Or at least a mediocre film.
Yeah.
No, The Evil Dead was overhyped.
I mean, The Maniac could have been the most overhyped film of the year, but just because you liked it or disliked it doesn't matter.
I think the fact that The Evil Dead is also a good film takes the sting away from the overhypeness.
No, but overhyped just means in general, like it's just totally like overhyped. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but in order for overhyped to mean overhyped, then it has to be hyped more than what the film actually is, right? So you have to take into account.
This comes down to personal opinion, and my most overhyped film of the year is The Evil Dead because it didn't work out for what I thought it was gonna. work out to be. So that's personal opinions, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So me and Moodz overhyped film of 2013 goes to Evil Dead, and JP picks
I'm so looking forward to this
The
next
Purge.
category.
The next category, the biggest piece of shit made in the year 2013, goes
I
to
struggled with this one.
Bloody Homecoming, put up by Image. This film sucked major dick. I fucking hated this film
I've been
so
wanting
bad.
to see this all year, and I have.
Oh man, I should just do a review of this on my channel just by itself. I hate Bloody Homecoming. The characters are fucking obnoxious as all hell. They couldn't act worth two shits. Now I guess I
It's
suppose,
crazy that this is like the worst film of the year for you because I've actually, I've heard things at least.
yeah, this people,
I've seen
when
this.
they
I've seen this movie on people's top 10 lists this year
That's crazy.
for
when
best films
people
of the year.
when people talk about this film, they connect it to an old slasher film, and the characters are supposed to be old. I mean, annoying and obnoxious, but I just couldn't handle it. They were trying to play fucking high school kids, and they obviously weren't fucking high school kids. They looked like they were, me and JP's age, which bothered me the most because one, they couldn't fucking act worth
Do
a
you
shit.
like Scream?
It's all right, yeah. Well, I think it's
I
a
love
little bit.
Scream.
I think it's a little bit overrated, but the character couldn't act worth a shit. There was one kill that made me go, oh, that's interesting. All the rest of the kills in the film were just stupid and obnoxious. Stuff that I've seen, in a million other generic slasher films that have come out over the years. But yeah, not a good film. That I hated it. I thought the characters were annoying. The acting was horrendous. No good gore, CGI gore, and no interesting kills. Bloody Homecoming, definitely the turd
Was a
sandwich.
bloody mess.
Definitely was the turd sandwich of
A
2013.
bloody turd sandwich.
It would not be a giant douche against a turd sandwich. It would be a giant douche against Bloody Homecoming. So that is my opinion.
There you go.
Bloody
There you go.
All
piece
right.
of shit film. Stay away.
My worst film of the year, I had to travel way back in the year, and this film was actually released in 2012 on TV, but didn't hit DVD until 2013. And it's called Lake Placid 4: The Final Chapter. Honestly, it was just the worst film I've seen this year.
I just showed this in an update today, actually, but I haven't watched it yet, of course.
I mean, it's fucking Lake Placid 4, a made-for-Sci-Fi Channel TV movie. I mean, it's
of course.
it's gonna be a bad movie.
Makes
Like,
sense.
you know that. I kind of liked it, but it was still the worst film I've seen this year, I think.
Hmm.
All right, Moodz. What is your
And
first?
people who are
up-
putting Texas Chainsaw on their worst horror film of 2013, what? The worst film? At least it's like competent and like it's an actual film. Like you can't say that about a lot of things that come out.
Yeah, I agree. Moodz.
Yeah.
What is your worst film of 2013?
My worst film of 2013 is the most beloved mainstream fucking film that seems to be getting a lot of good, ratings and praise. Hard Bodies.
Warm Bodies?
I mean, Warm Bodies. Did I say Hard Bodies?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, what the fuck is Hard
what are you
Bodies?
thinking about?
I'm thinking fucking porno or something. Yeah, Warm Bodies. I don't know why I said that. Man. This is so fucking bizarre. But yeah, Warm Bodies. Oh man. What do I say?
You know what, man? Though, is it really the worst film you've seen this year? Like the worst? Like it's a.
I'm gonna
like-
break it down. I'm gonna break
Mad
it down.
Puppet
to the fact-
that's even like this one. I have no idea if,
I'm gonna break
Lori
it down.
even liked it.
I hated this movie because it was so cheesy bad. It was like, I love cheesy films, but this movie was just, it was bad.
What's
I
the
mean,
plot?
for me,
the basic
dude, there is fucking this zombie. It's basically the movie's about this. It's from the zombie's perspective, right? So it's narrated by the zombie.
That never works for me. That's been
This
done before. That does not work for me.
this particular zombie
Except for
eats this
VHS too.
eats this one girlfriend's boyfriend, and he gets his like memories and stuff like that from the boyfriend, and then he kind of kidnaps the girlfriend, and he lives on like this abandoned plane and shit like that, and then they become like buddies, and then like all of a sudden their love starts spreading to like these other zombies, and it becomes like, oh my god, dude. I can't even it's so bad. I hated it so much.
I'll take your word for it.
It's the worst zombie film I think I've ever seen in my life, man.
Wow,
I mean,
dude,
no.
you're Children of the Living Dead.
Storyline wise.
That one sucks. Okay.
Storyline wise. This shit was so fucking cheesy. It's so mainstream. It is bad. It's bad. I was just appalled by it. Even my wife read the fucking synopsis on the back and she goes, I'm not watching that shit. I was like, and then I watched it like by myself a couple nights later and I was like, okay, you are so fucking right. That shit was horrible.
All right.
Okay.
I hated it, man. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Okay. So my worst film of 2013 goes to the piece of shit Bloody Homecoming. JP's is Lake Placid, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Lake Placid 4. Get it right. The fourth one.
And Moodz picks
Return to the Lake for the fourth time.
And Moodz
the final chapter, though.
Warm Bodies.
Warm
which
Bodies.
we will find out later that it's actually not the final chapter. Surprise, surprise.
All right. Best indie film. So this was hard choosing the best independent film of the year, but I'm going to give it to my buddy Anthony Cooney's short film Leaf Blower Massacre, which was shot here in Chicago. It's a very short film. It's about 10 minutes long, but it's just your typical reimagining of a slash film, but it's done really, really well. It has practical effects, all that stuff. Like I said, it's really short. If you guys want to hear about it, just Google Leaf Blower Massacre. He's more than happy to send out copies and stuff like that.
What is up with all these like short films and like indie films being like some massacre with something that normally wouldn't massacre stuff, like, you know, like Rake Massacre or
Rake Massacre. I don't know, but it must have done good.
Like Blender Massacre. So like
he's making a sequel and it got a pretty okay budget, so you know it must did okay in the indie circuits. But I really enjoyed it. Mr. Parker talked about it a little bit, so if you guys want to know more about it, you could go check over his channel. But
nice.
It's pretty interesting little short.
Dude has the best opinions on films, man.
Yeah,
I like his reviews.
Yeah.
I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
You know, dude, me and Moodz had like a 2-day conversation about what actually makes a film qualify to being considered a indie film, and I think the lines are completely blurred, and I don't think there's a true definition and it's properly defined at all. So I just went with Lords of Salem.
Okay. Moodz, your most independent film of 2013.
Not most independent. Your best.
My favorite.
Sorry, we've been talking for 3.5 hours, JP. My brain is a little fried.
My favorite independent film of the year is Dustin Mills' Belle of Skinless Pete, man. Yeah, I fucking love this movie.
I was gonna pick that one.
Yeah,
I guess this is the one I'm gonna see.
Yeah, I love it.
So my best independent film goes to Leaf Blower Massacre, which was a really interesting short. JP picks Lords of Salem, and Moodz picks The Ballad of Skinless Pete. All right.
I feel mine isn't indie enough.
Last two categories. Best Director. This one was very easy for me. I picked James Wan for Best Director of 2013 for The Conjuring.
You know, that's a great choice, and that's pretty much my choice. Because, dude, you can't make two big horror films in 1 year that are, you know, both, you know, top 15, top 20 worthy, and not at least be considered for Best Director.
Yeah.
So yeah, I picked James Wan also, but a very, you know, close runner-up would be Park Chan-wook. Nailed it. That guy who directed Stoker.
All right. Who also did Thirst, and what else did he do? He do Old Boy too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Moodz, your pick of Best Director 2013.
Man, this one was fucking me up, man. I could not pick, man. It was driving me nuts, dude. It was like the dude that directed Maniac, I thought did a great job. I can't remember his fucking name right now.
Must not be that relevant.
No, but it's because I didn't write it down. But no, he did a great job with Maniac. I thought the direction of that film was awesome. But I thought, honestly, the best directed film of the year was done by Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
Lord of Salem.
Yeah,
Lord of Salem.
I have a feeling
I personally
Stoker,
I love this film. So
if you've seen Stoker, what about Antiviral?
Yeah, you know, that was another one. I mean, but it crossed my mind. But at the same time, I was like, no, because the movie's a lot simpler. I think the direction that Rob Zombie took in Lords of Salem was just a lot more. I don't know. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yep, for sure. So, best director. Me and JP agree on James Wan for The Conjuring, and Moodz picks Rob Zombie from Lords of Salem. So,
And Insidious too.
and Insidious too. So, the last category of this short awards segment is the
Did we
best.
even name this category?
Nope. Best old school film. So this is a film that we
Yeah.
watched in 2013 that was not released in 2013, but it's the first time we watched it in the year 2013.
Yeah, basically just a classic film that you've been meaning to get to, never did, and it just stood out among all the other ones that you finally seen this year.
And this one was very easy for me. I picked Crawl Space, which just got put out by Scream Factory. This movie is batshit
We should be
fucking
getting
crazy.
paid for saying Scream Factory. So we say it so much.
This film is batshit fucking crazy. It's really good. Fucking Klaus Kinski just does a fucking nut job as this tenant of this apartment. If you guys want to hear about it, listen to Mood's review that he did last week on the podcast. So yeah, I picked Crawl Space as my best old film that I've seen in 2013.
My classic of the year is a film that I've seen for the first time, and it's actually, I guess it's considered a classic too. It's Rosemary's Baby. First time I ever seen it, blew me away. It was super awesome. It was one of the highlights of my October month, and it was, for surely one of the highlights of the year. That movie is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep. Rosemary's Baby.
Moods, your pick.
I was having a hard time with this one because
Because he watches everything under the sun.
I've seen everything,
every year.
and it kind of sucked, but I was thinking, man, Possession. But I've seen Possession before. It topped off my 52 or my 81 series, but I've seen the film before, so I was like, well, it was kind of and I thought about it for a while, and I was like, you know what? I've never seen Day of the Animals before. Saw it this year. That movie fucking blew me away. I love that fucking movie.
Really, that's pretty awesome because that makes me even want to see it more. And I've been picking up a lot of killer animals or killer something
Rottweiler.
bugs and shit. So that's
Day of the Animals was so good, dude. Like honestly, it's so much fucking fun.
Cool.
I can't recommend it enough.
All right. So I picked
Wraps up our awards.
Crawl Space
From 1977.
and JP picks. Fuck, I forgot. Oh, A Rosemary's Baby.
It's
And
like from
Moods-
1960 something.
And Moods picked Day of the Animals. So,
1977.
I'm going to wrap up this long 2013 overview show with stuff to look forward to in 2014 movie-wise. And then we're going to pass it over to JP with the movies that are coming out in 2014. So go ahead, JP.
All right, thank you very much. And I was gonna do this like simple, like top 10 or top 5 or something films I'm looking forward to, but I got really lazy after it took me 2 hours to find all these films. So I'm just gonna run through a list, tell you a little bit about each one, and I just want to hear if you guys are interested, not interested, or just really don't care, whatever. So the first film is one that I figured it always reminds me of Tat anytime I hear this word, and it's called Megafoot. That's not the word, but the tagline is "It's bigger than big, it's Megafoot," and it's a highly classified experiment accidentally unleashes a top secret killing machine known as Megafoot, part cyborg, part Bigfoot, all terrible.
It sounds. Sorry, it sounds so ridiculous.
Sounds like a sci-fi
2014
movie.
sounds like a pretty damn awesome year, ain't
What
it?
a way to kick it off.
I know,
That's
right?
That's funny.
Yeah, so obviously this sounds like a Asylum-style sci-fi type of film.
Picture of the
Channel
year
type
winner
film.
for sure. I'm
Yeah.
calling it right now.
So yeah, Megafoot. It's definitely interesting because, goddamn, it's a cyborg, as Tat would say. So yeah, then we move on to The Woman in Black, Angel of Death. The status of this film is actually filming right now, so it probably should be done by the end of 2014. 40 years after the first film, it's set about, children evacuated from World War II, and that's pretty much all I'll give you for the plot. You guys seen the first Woman in Black?
I have
The
not.
remake, rather?
I actually have never seen that movie. That's one I
Yeah,
need
me
to see.
neither. So I guess we don't have to spend too much time on it. But the guy does want to make like four of them or something. So
Really?
next up is actually one of the films that would make my top 10 looking forward to of 2014, and that's The Sacrament by Ty West. It's
Nice. Me too.
He's writing and directing it, produced by Eli Roth, put out by Magnet Releasing, has a May 1st,
Ty
2014
West,
release date.
boo.
What are you,
Um,
Tat now or something? Jesus.
That's exactly what I was doing.
Uh, so it's about these two reporters who are for Vice Media who journey to a remote Central American compound along with a photographer, hoping to reunite with his sister who has dropped off the map after struggling with drug addiction. Jeremy probably doesn't like it now since there's drug addiction in it, but
See
no, I'm
what I
kidding.
mean? Drug addiction
Um,
oversaturated in today's society. Not
yeah,
saying
But
it's
it's
not a
very
problem though.
prevalent, though. But it's very prevalent and honest, though.
I
yeah, it
suppose.
is because
It's niche.
I can walk down the street right now and at least find like a couple drug addicts.
Probably. Me too.
So yeah, and they go to this isolated community where true believers of the shadowy but charismatic father figure or figure called Father. This sounds like a cult film. I love cult films, like crazy religious people always creep me out. Overly religious people are so creepy to me. Extremists.
Yeah.
Extremists suck. Well, they don't
Yeah.
suck, but they're interesting. Freaking
Yeah, so The
they
Sacrament,
fucking
that's
freak me out.
definitely been getting some good talk, and I'm looking forward to that. Next up is Kevin Smith's written and directed film called Tusk. It's currently in post-production. The idea of the movie came during a recording of Smodcast number 259, The Walrus and the Carpenter. In this episode, Smith, with his longtime friend and producer Scott Mosier, discussed an article featuring something, and a homeowner was offering free living of a living situation free of charge if the lodger agrees to dress as a walrus, and went on and more on about how this guy just wanted the person to only be a walrus, like, but they could live there for free. So that's where the idea from Tusk came from. It shows, and the reason I really thought this one was cool is Smith then told his Twitter followers to tweet us Walrus yes if they wanted to see this hypothetical conversation turn into a film, or Walrus no if they didn't. And it just goes to show what a powerhouse social media is. And if you really want something to be done or not done, take to social media and yell about it.
And if you guys like podcasts, definitely go listen to some of Kevin Smith's stuff because he does some
Yeah,
pretty.
he's really funny.
If you
And
want to listen to Jay and Silent Bob Gets Old, it's pretty much Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes shitting the breeze about the olden days, about fucking chicks and stuff. It's really really fucking entertaining and really funny. So if you guys
Yeah.
want some good
It's
listens,
a great podcast.
definitely go listen to Jay
yeah,
and Silent.
and the Tusk is already finished, so it'll hit sooner than later. And then we have The Dead 2 India. Now, The Dead was a film from 2010, zombie film, slow zombies, pretty cool actually. I really enjoyed that one, and The Dead 2 could be pretty cool. But I did see a trailer a while back, and it didn't blow me away. So I'm still kind of, I'll see it, but I'm not like super excited or whatever.
For sure.
I guess moving on. Next up, we have a film. This one, I don't even know why I put this one on here really, besides at first glance it looks interesting. It's called 7500. It's already completed, waiting release, I think. It's PG-13. I didn't notice first.
Pure
Yeah, that's
garbage for kids
instant.
under 13.
Yeah.
13, 13.
Director is Takashi Shimizu. Nailed it. He's the guy who directed The Grudge, and Scout Taylor Compton is in it. It's about a bunch of passengers on a plane with a ghost. The reason I thought it was interesting at first is because it's on a plane. I love movies set, in one location and stuff. But
Like
PG-13,
Flight of
Ghost.
the fucking Living Dead or whatever.
yeah, PG-13 ghost stuff really doesn't work unless
I
it's
worked in
done by like
cities.
James Wan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next up is one that I'm actually really looking forward to. It's the Theater Bazaar 2 Grand
Oh,
Gun-
nice.
Gognal or something. This one follows the same format basically, but this time I think they're using all French directors, which I thought was interesting. Yeah, they are using all French directors. People that have done like the best French films, pretty much horror films of recent years, are involved. I think the guy who did Inside or something. The Theater Bazaar, the first one, I actually really liked. It made my top 10 of last year, 2012.
Just
Um,
showed that in an update today. I need to check that out. I just
you still
finally
haven't
picked it
seen
up.
that?
No,
It's
I
cool.
just
It's
I
a
just
cool
picked it up. I
anthology.
haven't gotten around to seeing it. So
Um, Lake Placid versus Anaconda.
Did you
Let
just
me.
say they're done making these fucking movies?
No, I said they're not. The last one
Oh.
was called Final Chapter, but let me
oh,
just
I joked
tell
about
you,
that in my video today when I showed part 4. I said, you know what? They're probably not done with this.
dude, it's called Lake Placid versus Anaconda. Does anybody realize
Are
how
you fucking
stupid that
serious?
sounds? You're telling me it's called
No
Lake
way.
Placid is a
And
lake.
this is starring Ice Cube too, though, right? Please tell me.
Maybe like Vanilla Ice.
Oh, come on, man. Anaconda, bring him back. Bring him back. You know, it's old school.
Yeah, but dude, come on. I mean, this is obviously going to be like sci-fi garbage fun, maybe, but
Sharknado.
I mean, dude, it's funny that it's called Lake Placid versus Anaconda. I hope that's a working title. But then again, it would totally fit if it wasn't.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if that was the title.
Yeah. So next up we have this is just announced. I doubt it'll actually hit in 2014 because there's like no movement on actual production yet, but it has been announced. That's Trick or Treat 2. One of the films that I've been wanting since the first one came out, and it just blew my mind that there was no sequel ever. And I'm super excited for this whenever it hits, but I doubt it'll hit in 2015.
Oh my god, I'm so
Yeah, I'm hyped for that too.
I gotta say, man, I'm really stoked for Trick or Treat 2, but at the same time, I'm super fucking scared about it because I mean, honestly, it's elevated to my favorite anthology of all time. So a sequel to it, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. I mean, Creepshow was always my favorite anthology growing up, and then the sequel came out, and I was like, oh, yeah.
That's okay.
I'm in the same boat right now, man, because Trick or Treat took over my favorite one, you know, a while back, and a sequel scares me, dude. How about you guys? Does it not scare you?
It does make me a little worried,
yeah.
but man, it's done by the same people. I don't know, man. I have to have faith in it. I have to.
Yeah,
I
It
mean,
does scare me a little bit, though.
I will have faith, but
it's the same feeling you had with the Maniac remake. You just gotta maybe you'll be
No,
blown
that
away
was even
from
worse
it.
because you kind of expect that one to not be good. It initially.
I just assumed the worst, but
It's like to me, it's kind of the same as anytime they announce a new Friday the 13th. Like I get super nervous because I'm like I want it to be so good, but I have a feeling it's not going to be.
mm.
You mean every
Um,
Friday the 13th after Friday the 13th, final chapter?
Dude, Part 5 is like one of my all-time favorites. Shut up.
Really?
Yeah, dude, Part 5 rocks.
Actually 6 is in my top like 3.
Yeah, part 6 is like in my top 2 probably. And part 5, I love Part 5. It's in my top 5. But that's a story for another day. Next up we have Wolf Creek 2. This film is already completed. It's set to hit theaters in Australia next month. Once again, you're following the crazy Mick Taylor guy, and it's probably going to be pretty crazy, pretty fun. And, I'm looking forward to that one. I talked about Wolf Creek a few weeks ago on the podcast, so I'm definitely looking forward to that one. There's actually a trailer out. I haven't watched it yet, though. Then after that, we have Sharknado 2. Actually, the official title is Sharknado 2, the second one. So, yeah. It's announced. It is not filming or anything yet, but
dude, Sharknado was so fucking funny. The ending
sequel
was so
to
funny.
the hit Sharknado, which finds a tornado full of sharks descending
Oh
upon.
my god, can we stop talking about that? Thanks.
I've never actually seen it, but
I love
the
Sharknado. It was so fun.
Next up, we have See No Evil 2. This is in post-production currently, directed by the Soska sisters, a sequel that revives the nightmare of Jacob Goodnight, or whatever the hell his name is. Daniel Harris, what's her name? Catherine Isabel. I mean, is it odd to anybody else that this definitely has more hype than the first film? And like, it's so funny that this is a sequel. Like, because nobody cares about the first film.
I think this movie is going to be like a fucking. It's going to be
knockout hit.
Classified as a sequel, but it's going to feel like an original film, though. I think that's what's going to happen.
Honestly, from what I hear, I think it's going to be pretty sequelish. Like, I think it's going to be like
Well,
like the actual.
what's the story though? I don't get it.
It's the Blackwell Hotel that was in the first one.
Yeah,
They're doing the same thing. Like
but
um,
what's the story with the killer and stuff
medical
though?
Kane, man, Kane fucks people up.
a group of medical students fight to survive from the deranged psychopath once he has to pick them apart one by one.
So
Kane's
he
gonna
comes
fuck
back
people
from the
up.
first
There
one
you
then,
go.
or
I
what?
don't even remember. Does anybody even remember the first one?
I saw it in
barely
theaters
remember it,
back
man.
in the day. I have no idea. I don't remember.
I mean, it's a very forgettable, mediocre meme.
I was beating around the bush. I can't
plus.
remember it either. I own that fucking piece of shit too.
So do I. But I mean, isn't it funny that this film is like way more interesting than the first one was when it was like when they was making the first one?
Got some good
Like I
people.
said, man, it's gonna feel like a fucking new movie.
Yeah, I know.
Not a sequel.
After that, we have Poltergeist the remake, 2004.
Oh Jesus!
This is currently filming, from what I understand. And honestly, I really just don't get this one.
No, don't do that.
What can you really do to improve the Poltergeist film? Like
PG awesomeness. What is this one going to be? R? How the fucking original is PG? Get out of here.
Poltergeist remake?
yeah, I believe this is being produced by Sam Raimi.
I don't get it. Well, I mean, are we gonna go fucking straight? Did you say PG-13?
No, the original Poltergeist
original
is PG.
Oh, I thought you said again.
It's PG. It's not PG.
That was before PG-13
basically what they
existed.
can do right now. You know, Sam Raimi takes it to, you know, the Evil Dead remake kind of style. You know, you fucking make that shit real gory, make it a totally different type of hard-hitting film. I mean, if you want to get that fucking old audience that saw that shit in the original,
yeah, you got to do something fucked up.
you got to do something different, man.
Don't
go with some fucking stupid ass fucking PG.
Yeah, but who's gonna play fucking
Make this shit better. Just, I mean, not better than the original, but just make it.
Make it you know what, dude? That is the perfect advice. Just make it better. That's the greatest advice ever, dude.
You know what I'm saying, man? I meant make it.
But that's great advice.
Who's gonna play Carol Ann though?
better.
You know,
no
one's gonna be
that
able
shit
to.
kind of fucked up though.
Yeah, I think Moodz is on to something. I think you just take it and make it fucked up. Like make the clown like molest one of the kids.
All
something.
I'm saying is that Poltergeist is
I'm totally kidding.
remake because it was so fucking good. Poltergeist is an amazing film, but if you want to do something that's going to stick out, you have to make it appeal to us now. Yeah. Make it gory. Honestly,
dude,
not make a PG-13. Make it an 18A film.
This is like a film that I have like zero interest in as of right now, like completely zero. Like I don't even.
The director of City of Embers is directing it.
I love the first.
I don't have any.
Like I mean, I the first Poltergeist is a classic and shit, but honestly, it's not one that I jump to when I want to watch something in that genre.
I haven't watched in a long time because
So yeah, next up we have the Human Centipede 3 final sequence due out April 2014. It's in.
Are they making a 1 million person fucking centipede now?
I don't know, dude. I still haven't even watched the second one. I started watching it and didn't like it.
I actually like the second one more than the first one, to be honest. But that's just me. I know that I'm in the majority on that one, but I thought the second one was so
gross.
Dirty, man. It was just dirty.
So
dirty. It was dirty. It was fucked up, man. I enjoyed the second one more.
I need to watch it so I can give a like proper review of it. But from what I seen, it just felt like all the like artistic, filmmaking, like the actual filmmaking was like kind of gone, and it was more about just shocking the audience. And I don't really like that stuff when they do that.
What, the second one?
About filmmaking, yeah. Like the first one, I really, really liked. I thought it was a great film.
I thought the opposite actually. I thought maybe, I mean, the black and white thing is kind of a gimmick though. It is definitely a gimmick for the second one.
But I didn't really. I'll have to give it a watch in action because I only seen like a little bit.
I don't know. I found some of the shit that was in the second one was so much more brutal and just kind of, it was kind of wow. Yeah. Like I don't want to give anything away, but. Wow.
Next up, we have Dead Snow, Red vs. Dead. This is due out February 14th, 2014. Derek Mears is in it. It's a follow-up to the first one. Yeah, Dead Snow 2. I'm looking forward to it.
This is an American sequel or remake?
No, I think it's done by the same guy.
And Derek Mears is in it?
Dead Snow 2, dude. It's not a remake. It's a sequel.
Okay. Well, that I
It
was when
follows
you
the first film.
when you said that there was fucking really there's going to be a sequel to this.
Yeah, it's done.
Interesting.
It's already like out. It comes out like next month. There's a trailer.
I don't watch trailers, dude.
Yeah, I don't. I'm
I
like,
try to stay
I
away
didn't
from
watch
now
it either,
because
but
of
I'm just
what
saying
has
it's a
happened.
trailer. Yeah, it follows the first one. It's like if the worst day of your life consisted of accidentally killing your girlfriend with an axe, chainsawing your own arm off, and watching in horror as your closest friend was devoured by a zombified Nazi battalion, you'd assume things couldn't get much worse. In Martin's case, this was only the beginning. So it's an actual sequel.
So how is the sequel working from the first one then? I don't get it.
I don't know, dude. It's sequelitis. They always figure it out.
Yeah, totally, totally. I mean, personally, man, I fucking love the first Dead
Dude,
Snowman.
if you watch any Friday the 13th documentary, it's like how are we gonna bring Jason back? We'll figure it out once we start filming.
I guess that makes sense, right?
But next up we have Cabin Fever Patient Zero. This is one of two Cabin Fever films supposed to hit in 2014. Why, I don't know, but this is like a prequel. Patient Zero, obviously meaning the first infected. It's in post production now. Flesh-eating virus spreads throughout a cruise ship in the Caribbean after it crashes into an abandoned scientific research boat. Probably going to be some crappy stuff here, but with these crappy like sequels like this, every once in a while you'll get one that's all right, like Wrong Turn 4 or something. You know what I mean?
All right.
Yep.
Next up, the Toxic Avenger remake. Now I think this is right now.
Is it trauma related?
I don't think so. I think
No,
Troma
it's
actually
not.
sold Lloyd Kaufman sold the rights to the remake.
Fuck you, Lloyd Kaufman.
Well, everybody knows deep down inside Lloyd Kaufman is a businessman.
I
I don't
agree.
like that's firstly what he is.
Of course.
Isn't
that
just
what
like
anyone
It's
Charles
his
is?
goddamn franchise. I can't believe he'd sell the fucking rights to that shit, man. It's bullshit. He must have
And then
sold it for millions.
next up is Return to Nukem High Volume 1. I guess this
Seen
is
it.
done already. All right, so I
Already
guess it
seen
is
it.
done then. All right. Next up is The Purge 2, June 20th, 2014 is the release date. Pre-production status is that's what it is. Honestly,
Better
I'm
be
still
outside.
interested in the concept. Not expecting much after coming off the first film, but I mean, it's still an interesting concept. It can work if they take it in a little bit of a different direction. It's possible. I mean, we've seen sequels that outshine the original.
We have.
Hellraiser.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I prefer Hellraiser 2 over 1 too. Yeah.
Yeah, Resident Evil 6. I think it's funny that the Resident Evil films have actually caught up with the games.
Are they still going on? I've watched all those fucking movies.
Yeah, dude.
Get worse as
I've
it
watched
goes
the
on.
like first three.
I saw the
so-
first one and I said, "Fuck my life! I will not watch a sequel."
Oh, dude, it's not like that bad.
It's not
man. I mean,
that
it's
bad.
alright.
It's alright.
They're like guilty pleasure type films.
Yeah.
After that we have Paranormal Activity 5. This
Didn't
comes out
one just
October.
fucking come out? Jesus
That's
fucking.
that's the Latino spin-off.
I don't give a fuck what it is. It has paranormal activity in the name.
Yeah, I just saw
Once
reviews
again,
for this
dude.
new one. I thought that was a new one. Oh my god, so stupid.
Yeah, this one comes out on October 25th, 2014. Dude, Paranormal Activity is not the worst films ever made, guys. Calm down. I think you need to give them another chance. And they're pretty fun, man. I'll be honest. I like them. But I only seen the first two, but I like the first two. After that, we have the film that I'm absolutely most looking forward to, and that is The Green Inferno. Comes out September 5th, 2014. A group of student activists travel from New York City to the Amazon to try to save a dying tribe, but crash into a jungle and are taken hostage by the very natives that they wanted to protect. So it's a cannibal film done by Eli Roth. I mean, come on. That sounds great, right?
You would think so.
I hope so.
Yeah. I've heard good things already from the festival circuit.
I don't know. I get. I'm worried, man. He's a little rusty.
Yeah, but dude, you know what? He did his first film was Cabin Fever. I mean, come on. I mean,
No.
he didn't need much like practice. Like I think he just has talent.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see.
All
We'll
right.
see what
I,
happens.
I'm
Still,
I'm expecting. See, I don't want to get my hopes up on this. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
good point. But I mean, I really like Eli Roth, and I'm just happy to see him return to like filmmaking in general. um, After that, we have The Town, the dreaded Sundown remake. This is, I guess,
what?
it's completed. It's already filmed,
Oh my
waiting on
Jesus!
distribution.
I didn't even hear about that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
But
it's
I
kind of been
also I also did hear that they're going to take a full serious support approach to it, so that might work.
a full
A
what?
serious approach.
Well, I actually heard that it's going to be like meta is like the word they used.
What the fuck is meta?
I know what metagaming is. I don't know what meta is.
Like Scream, like that's the film you hear where everybody says it's like meta.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! Are you
And
serious?
like
The sun,
Behind the
the
Mask, The
Countless
Rise of
Thread of
Leslie
Sundown
Larkin.
should be fucking. It should be a serious film. That was the biggest problem with the original film is that it had these comical, kind of fucking Dukes of Hazard fucking elements happening in the
I
film and
didn't
shit.
even
It was
see
like,
the original yet. I got a
but
crappy Scream Factory.
if you remake that film, make it fucking 100% serious. I mean, the original film was good. It just has some comical, weird elements in the film that kind of take you out of it a little too much. I think that's the
So
issue with it. But this one should be a serious film. You know, I mean, considering it's based on real events, real events or whatever. Fuck. But
I agree that I mean I would think that it would probably have to be a serious film for me to be like really interested. But I mean I never seen the original yet, so I can't really comment on it. But yeah, I guess it's done already. I guess it already filmed. But the final film on the list is actually one that I'm most looking forward to for all the wrong reasons. I'm just really curious about this one, and it is Leprechaun Origins. It's already completed. It's slated. It was the two-picture deal with Lionsgate and WWE Studios. The second film was See No Evil 2, which oddly has like pictures and like all kind of like behind the scenes stuff already, while Leprechaun Origins like has nothing and it's supposed to be out in February. February 28th, this film's supposed to be released, I guess. And
In theaters, a wide
no,
release.
no, I think
Oh,
it's gonna do DVD. But the thing is,
God.
it's like there's still not a trailer. Like, what are they hiding? Like, it has to be so bad, right? Like, that's the
who
only
wants to
thing
see
they come up with.
Hornswoggle as the fucking leprechaun? Jesus.
But I seen it. I had to actually go to YouTube
I
to
actually
find the
watched. I
information
actually
I'm
about.
pissed, man.
I actually
No
watched.
Warwick Davis,
I
no
actually watched.
Leprechaun watch for me.
I actually watched the WWE and fucking Hornswoggle so fucking annoying. I just want to shoot myself.
Yeah,
now.
but all right, honestly, dude. So, um, this film has like no trailer, no images, barely a plot. The plot is like razor thin. They really didn't say anything, and it's done already, and it's supposed to come out like in the
Are
next
we
couple
sure
months.
this movie's even fucking done, or what's
Yeah,
going on
listen,
here?
dude, listen. So I
It
had
makes
to
no
do
sense. How's there no trailer though? That makes no sense.
Well, there probably is a trailer. It's just not released. There's some reason that these people are hiding it, but um,
Because it
The
sucks so
asshole.
bad. They're like,
Yeah.
we're just gonna release it. Fuck a trailer.
no, but the funny thing is, dude, is I actually looked up, like, I had to do some investigating because I'm like, what the hell is going on with this thing? I'm so curious. And I found videos of Hornswoggle at like some Comic Con or something talking about it. And he says that like him and the director are standing there like talking about it, but they don't say much, but they're saying it's like it's very dark. They kept saying that word, like it's dark. We're going hard R here. It's gonna be a horror film, lots of kills and like hardcore kills. Like we're not going funny. And it kind of interests me, but is it just like mumbo jumbo selling a film?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what
That's
happens.
the thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know what to think about this. I have no idea.
Leprechaun. Well, I already know what to think about it. You're supposed to think it's bad because come on, dude. Like, what is pointing to good? Nothing.
Dude, like
here.
I said, no Warwick Davis, no motherfucking watch.
Leprechaun is one of my all-time favorite franchises. Okay, let me just repeat that. Leprechaun is one of my all-time favorite franchises. I know it's crazy, but it is, and I think we have to cover this. I think when it comes out, we all have to buy it and do a Leprechaun franchise show because it's just gonna be like either terribly bad. Well, it's good. Probably like it's almost guaranteed it's gonna be terribly bad. But we get an excuse to watch the other Leprechaun films, and it's probably going to be so bad that we can like tear it apart and it'll probably be fun.
Okay.
It might be.
Who knows?
Well, that was one hell of a show.
That's it? You're not even gonna let me finish with my ending? You're just gonna say that's
Well,
one hell of
that
a show.
yeah,
You
go.
done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So after a long 4-hour show, we are finished with our 2013 year in review show. I hope you guys all enjoyed this extended show. Hope you guys liked our segments and all that stuff. But yeah. If you want to follow me on YouTube, you can do so at youtube.com/NESRuler22. If you want to follow JP on his channel, you can do so at youtube.com/DoubleShotJ. And if you want to follow Moodz on his channel, you can do so at youtube.com/Moodz616. So next week, we're going to be coming and doing one of my favorite films of the 2000s, and that is Hobo with the Shotgun. So we're looking forward to be doing that, and then we'll be jumping into Dark Knight of the Scarecrow the week after that, and then we probably will be doing the Phantasm series overview the week after that. So we got a full slate for you guys. What's so funny?
Nothing.
What's funny?
Go ahead. It's funny because every time we announce like multiple weeks in advance, it always fucks up.
Well, that's our plan. We're planning to do those, so we're gonna see what happens. But thanks again, everybody, for watching. And we shall talk to you guys again next Saturday night with the 22 shots of Moodz and Horror Pod.
Except for we upload on Mondays.
If you guys fucking listen to this entire show, mad props from the motherfucking M-O-D to the Z. You know what I'm saying?
That was a 4-hour show. So
Nailed it.
thanks everybody again, and we shall talk to you guys soon. Peace out.
Peace.